My check 1 2 1 2. You're welcome to the Loose Talk Avenue. It is a fresh new podcast. Shout out to you guys, the listeners. But let's do a quick introduction. I have with me some very special people on the podcast. Shout out to Mr. AOT2
Yeah,
Ayomide Tayo, Ayomide Oluwasegun Tayo the second.
yeah.
Let's call
Ovio's
it as it
finest.
is.
Ovio's finest. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Wait,
Ovio
wait.
Ojulegba.
I mean, hey. They say OVO now is other vaginal option.
Yeah,
Mm,
right.
So you got to be careful with what you're repping now
We
in the
don't believe.
streets.
We don't believe that.
mm.
Sorry.
We got to be careful what you're repping now in the streets,
We
though.
don't. We
So
don't
hey,
believe
I'm
that.
just this is I'm just saying exercise some caution. All
Okay.
right.
All right. You know the
Except
energy
you're
that
trying to tell
the
us.
energy that Osagie wants
Except
to bring on this podcast is the Nas and Jay-Z energy, and I swore never to go back into this energy again in hip hop. This is one of the reasons
bro,
I don't like hip hop.
Why don't you go back? Because they're
I'm
flaming
very,
your favorite rapper.
I'm
they're
very
flaming
objective.
the shit,
I'm
Hmm?
very
bro.
objective now. I
No,
cannot go
Hey,
back into my hip
why are
hop
you
head
not interested anymore? They're flaming
because
your guy,
it
tearing him
brings out
apart.
the pause. No Didi. Thank you.
Ayo
Alright.
went from tweeting every 10 seconds to not
Yeah,
tweeting at all.
Yeah,
it
because
paid off.
I have to be productive. I have to do my work. Thank you very much. Yes.
Anyways, we got AOT2 in the building, and we have the one and only, the lead researcher, the lead investigator, Mr. Steve Diddy.
What is he
Is it
investigating,
is it
please?
that hip
I
hop
want to
beefs
know.
make you? Is it that hip hop beefs just put you in a good mood, or like why are you so like hype and like
Steve, I told you the
enthusiastic? Like
reason.
what's the
I told you
problem?
the reason. Steve, I told you the reason in the WhatsApp group. Let me know you're stuck on here. Just keep it
Okay,
moving.
that's true.
Yes,
That's true. It's
it's
natural.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
natural.
yeah,
What is
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
natural?
yeah.
What is natural? What are you guys? So let
It's
the audience know.
natural. It's
Let the
natural.
audience know. You can't just,
It's
No,
natural. This we
be
just
under
want to keep
the.
it.
No,
that's
no,
this
no, no, no,
Ajasa
no.
content. They should go and pay for
No,
that
no,
one.
no, no. We just feel that anything that relates to like violence, beef, there's
Beef,
a certain part of this
chaos.
country, yeah, that's that
There's a
that
certain part
that
of this
really
country in
that
the
it
middle part
really
that
excites them. It makes
yeah
them
really
come.
excites. Yeah,
So
My Edo brothers.
oh, that's yes the deal. That's not even no detail.
My my Edo brothers. You see how they try to put us in a box?
Now they put
Hmm?
themselves for box now. There's
My
don't
Edo
be
mm.
us.
brothers.
Don't be
You see how
us.
they try to assassinate our character?
You see how
That's
you see how you snuck assassination there. They can't let it go.
but
My Edo brothers.
Drake's fans will say that, oh, that's exactly what Kendrick is doing, and you are supportive of him.
My
Kendrick
You are in
Edo
support of
brothers.
him.
Kendrick is an Edo man. We just don't know yet. He look like
My
Osanho.
Edo brothers.
Kendrick looks like an Osanho.
My Edo brothers. They try to assassinate our character, but one thing they don't know is that we're not acting.
Oh, it's real here. It's real on site.
It's
Yeah,
real.
it
okay.
comes
It's
it
real.
comes natural,
It
bro.
comes
It
natural,
comes natural.
baby. Yeah, we
Yeah.
understand.
My name is Osagie Alunga, and you're welcome to the Loose Talk Podcast. It's a podcast. It's a family friendly podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about. It's actually family friendly. Nobody's
Uh,
cussing anymore. I've decided to stop cussing on the podcast. So you can
don't
play it in
worry.
the car while you're dropping your kids off at school.
All right.
You can play it. For those who are jobless and go to church early in the mornings on Monday
Yeah,
mornings, when you're coming back
yeah.
from church, you can play it with your family. You can play it in the house while you're, meal prepping for the week, for the kids. You're making their breakfast or their lunch, putting it in the parks. You can play it if you're, jogging and working out. You can play it while you're on the train somewhere. You can play
What?
it while you're chilling in the downfall. You can play it while you're queuing for fuel. You can play it
Hmm.
anywhere. Steve,
Osage,
you
Are
want
you
to say
sure?
something?
I'm saying, can they play it like during sex, like when you're having sex, and can Blue Stock be
uh,
playing in the background?
uh,
Like,
uh, uh,
what do you think about that?
no Didi.
I will leave that to whoever wants to make that decision. That's not my jurisdiction.
But
Yeah.
what would you like? How would you feel if someone tells you that like I have sex to your podcast? Like, how would
I
it
want
make
to
you
get.
feel?
I'll get a restraining order sharply and fast. Bulletproof one.
I
But
I
you can't
have
have a
two.
restraining order because it's not been confirmed that it's your voice that's
Bro,
like
it's
that's
Nigeria. I will get a restraining order. It's Nigeria. There's no need. This is not LAPD. I'll get
so
a
Osagi,
restraining order.
what would be your reaction?
I have curated my circle of friends and people that I know so much that that kind of information will cannot get
No,
to
no,
me.
no, it's not your friend.
Confident.
Feedback is not. You don't only receive. You don't only get feedback, blue stock feedback from your friends. Now you get it from random listeners on the internet, on social media, and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you get that reaction from, like, when you get that feedback from, like, a listener,
Yeah.
what would be your reaction?
It'll be nothing because I will delete the message immediately and move on. I found a way to compartmentalize, which
But
has
so
been
you're contradicting yourself, because you just told everybody now that you can listen to the podcast anywhere and
except
anytime.
well, my brother, I also didn't say you can listen to the podcast while you are killing people on the road.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
I know
You
they.
understand? I didn't say that.
Uh-huh.
But
You
Sage,
have to be
I
you have to be
assume
specific.
because
Okay.
I said it's a family friendly podcast doesn't mean that you should take your spouse into the bedroom. And
Oh, okay, okay.
you
I
understand?
understand.
So
I
my
understand.
family friendly is actually family friendly, which is what PG, right?
But it can
yeah,
happen. It can happen by mistake. Maybe you're listening to it and your spouse just walk into the room and just one thing leads to another, and you guys just
Steve,
have.
I don't
You
understand.
won't be
You
able to
said
just make that decision at that time to say, "Oh, let me go and switch off this podcast first." When everybody body they hot. Do you understand? Like, I don't understand why you feel someone has to deliberately go and switch off your podcast just because, you know, like things can
I didn't
happen
say that.
fast.
I didn't
Okay.
say that. I
Okay, so
just said
what do you think? What do you recommend happen at that? Like, what is the recommended action at that time when maybe I'm just chilling in the sitting room or in my room listening to loose talk, and spouse walks
mhm.
in, the partner walks in, and
I think I get the picture. No need
okay,
to
okay, okay, all right, all right,
emphasize.
all
Yeah,
right, all right.
I choose to remain oblivious to this
Okay,
whole scenario.
to that whole scenario. Okay, okay, okay. I
Yes,
understand. I understand.
is
Yeah,
that okay?
you have every right to. It's fine. It's fine.
yeah. But
All right,
Sage,
Alhamdulillah.
there's a
Thank you.
problem with your description.
Yes. What's the problem?
All the things you are saying that you could do while listening to the podcast, that's like old people stuff. That's not Gen Z stuff. Oh. Meal
Gen
prep.
Z don't Gen Z don't jog. Oh,
No, those meal prep,
oh, oh.
they're not there or those ones now.
Actually, so no, but if you look at the from our survey, if you look
Yeah,
at the demographic of people who listen to loose talk, it still summates what I was saying. But you might be right because I might be looking at it through my lens. All
yeah.
right, if you're chilling with your friends, you know, at home or somewhere, and you guys are hanging out, having a good time, and you just want to put something in the background for you guys to listen to and laugh to and vibe to, right? Hey
Yes, sir.
man, put on loose talk. Let me tell you something. If you invite a guy or a girl to your crib and you're listening to loose talk, you've passed the vibe check.
Oh, yes.
And
You,
while
yeah.
listening and maybe things start
Oh, God.
happening,
Oh, Sage has fallen into this trap again.
what do you think? What do you recommend? Should they switch it off and continue what they're doing?
Oh, Sage, you fell into that, man. You walked right into it. Like, easy money.
I choose to be oblivious to a
Okay.
gangbang description, which is where
Okay.
Steve is
Hey,
tending towards. Uh,
please, I beg. The only
all
damn thing
right.
I know is cribs and blood. Thank you.
The only trains I know are locomotive
Choo choo.
and
Ah.
Yes.
all right.
Lagos
Thank
to
you.
Abeokuta. Shout out to Buhari.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. So what is popping, guys? A lot of things are happening. So much to discuss, man. So much to discuss. First of all, I want to put the disclaimer out, right? And it's very important to put this disclaimer out because a couple of people have hit me up and asked why we don't always zero in on some certain characters or individuals. And I'll put it out here.
What are the
People have
characters and
political.
individuals?
It's actually the video, so I just want to put it out here because people
Oh,
have hit me
okay.
up. Blah blah blah. Someone on this podcast is heavily affiliated, and I'm not going to, in the sake of, first of all, this podcast is not true journalism. We need to have the ideals. And no, no,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
that's not
yeah.
what this
We're
podcast is
not
about.
journalists anymore,
Please,
please.
please. All right. So if we sidestep some conversations, no matter how juicy they are, right? We need to sidestep some conversations
Yeah, let's do
just
that to the
because.
culture. Yeah.
No, no, we charge it to the game, right?
Yeah, charge
And
it to the game.
This is your fault.
It's
This
not
is
my
your fault
fault.
because it's your fault.
Not my
It's your
fault.
fault.
Wait,
Yeah, I
oh.
mean, it's not your fault, but it's because of you.
Yeah, it's the game, really. Yeah,
Yeah, but the
yeah.
game is the game. So
But
I'm
this week
sorry,
was hot,
guys,
though. This week was hot. I even forgot that happened, though. I even
bro.
totally forgot that one happened.
No, I think we can touch on some around that. Do you understand?
Yeah,
But like, we
yeah.
can't go. We can't go. You
Deep
know,
heart,
we
open heart surgery.
let me say it like this: we can't go knee deep into some certain conversations.
No Didi.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. you know. But yeah, so that's out of the way. So any disclaimers and any other thing is fair game
Yeah.
until somebody then becomes politically activated or affiliated rather with
I think
another
join
thing, and then we put out a
I think
disclaimer.
join APC. You never know.
If you join APC, man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
We'll have to cancel the pod. We'll have to stop doing the pod.
No, I don't think so. I just think APC just needs to sponsor the pod,
Yeah,
and then
Ministry of Information.
yeah,
They'll drop bag now.
Yeah, you
and
guys are
then we can
compromised.
say yeah, compromised.
Yeah.
You said compromised.
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry.
You just said compromised
Yes.
in Nigeria, Steve.
Like
Steve,
say,
Oh god.
every single person is compromised in Nigeria.
you just living here. You just
You,
living here. You're already compromised. There's no. You don't have to do anything. The fact that you
if
accept
we
that you don't have light, you are compromised.
if
Yeah,
we
it's fine.
if we start this compromise, people will start saying,
You go
"Off
talk
your mic,
you go
it's
Off
talk
your
okay,
everybody.
honorable,
it's
off your
okay,
mind.
honorable, off your mic." It's okay. Anyways, man, let's get into it. First things first, how was the week? Let me know. Steve Dede, hit me. First of all, I want to say congrats to Steve Dede on something that you guys will find out later. But I just want to give a shout out to my man, Steve Dede, aka the
Wow.
lead researcher, aka SDC. Shout out to you. All right.
It's been long I heard that name SDC.
Yeah.
Yeah man. Nice, good week. Stressful. Then accomplished a lot. In terms of work, I've told you guys before, my work affects like influences how I think about my week. If I like put in a lot of work and I feel that I've accomplished like a lot of things, I'm happy about that week. So yeah, I did a lot of work and I'm happy with what I'm doing. And yeah, like Osage said, yeah, things are happening and we're chilling. And yeah, it was a good week, very very good week. Yeah,
Fantastic, fantastic. Very, very good week. I like how Nigerians always stress it, very, very good week.
He
I
enter.
saw something where we use words or we overemphasize some words when there are other words that describe that meaning, right? So instead of saying
yeah,
like very good all the time or very, very good, you can just say great,
yeah. So I
right?
do that a lot. Like we do that a lot in speaking. Then
Mm-hmm.
while a lot of people can't trans like when I can never write very very good when I'm writing, it's impossible, but in
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
conversations I can say it, right, because it's
Yeah.
informal, is so in short, for me, one thing, one of the ways I attribute great writing is to use one word to say something that would take a regular person to like 5 words. Do you get? Someone will
Yeah.
use one word
Yeah.
that describes. That's what I like. I rate it a lot in writing. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that points
Yeah.
to
I
what
think I
is
think what
writing.
you were trying to say is being articulate.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It happens.
Succinct.
Yeah.
Succinct,
That's true. That's succinctly. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So so the German language. I don't know if you guys have noticed, right? But like, there's a word that has just one word means like a whole phrase. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys have. If you guys check it out,
Nah. Nah.
yeah, Germans are well known for having like one word that actually has
It
like
can describe
a
it
very
if
long meaning.
meaning.
It
Oh,
Oh, okay.
okay.
describes it.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I look at those things, I'm like, yeah, okay, I should actually be using these words instead
This
of
word instead of all these
instead
words. Yeah.
and I end up not doing it because I forget about it. I
Yeah.
have the things screenshotted somewhere. But man, guy, we go talk with him if he talk. Mr.
Yeah.
AOT2, how was the week? What's happening?
The week was good. Thankfully, I wasn't frustrated by what was happening in the country concerning, fuel scarcity. Yeah, so I did my work, I put in the numbers, I overachieved in some places. I was very, very productive. We thank God. Living in a country like Nigeria, where obstacles are thrown at you in real time, you have to have the skill to dodge these things, and I dodged them very well. And I did some good work, assessing how far I've done this year, and what needs to be done in certain areas and certain parts. Yeah, a couple of projects working on, and inshallah, the train is still moving.
Fantastic, fantastic. Q1 done. As a matter of fact, we're
Yeah,
already in Q2.
yeah.
Hustling Q2 already. But yeah, it's good. It's good. For me, week was well. I had visitors over at the house, so
Shout out to
um,
you.
yeah, we had friend of the show, by the way, friends of the show.
Oh, okay.
over, and it was good. Good food. Kids laughter, drinks, everything. Yeah, nice, nice, nice.
That's
Always good
nice.
to have people over. So nice, nice, as they say in the Republic, the Chicken Republic. Nice, nice. But yeah, so what do we have? Trending topics. What do we have, Steve? What do we have today?
No,
Is
no,
the
no. So
straight.
I really wanted to just get it out of the way, and just just briefly touch about. Although that there's been a twist to this conversation, a new context to it. But generally, though, is it worth it to? Is it okay to rebel against your family due to like a choice of a partner, like that's a husband and a wife? Like, I wonder how the young people these days think about it, like how they think about this situation. I think is the case of a celebrity who got married over the weekend, and the family of the guy of the groom sent put out a statement saying, "Oh, we're not involved in this" and stuff like that. Although there's been
You
a
want to
new
give us? You
contest.
want to give us some backstory, man. Got to give us the backstory. Backstory, not backshot, please. Backstory. Let's
The
go.
thing is, I don't want to make this about them and just have like a more general conversation about like
I
Yeah.
think you should start there, and then we can delve into. Oh my God, Paul Graham. We can move into other conversations from there.
okay. So I think this celebrity presenter Woifa, I'll be Woifa. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Guy, you
Um,
gotta do better than that. Don't imagine someone you were
It's
getting
worth
married to
fine.
someone in from an elite family, and someone just there. This guy, his name is Steve. Like, come on, man.
Everybody knows Steve. Everybody knows Steve.
No, no, you can't just say Steve. You guys say Wofa, Wofa, Wofia, Wofa. No, you gotta do it well, bro. Her name is
how
Wofia
do I
Dada.
how do I describe her? Okay, she's a
Wofia father,
celebrity. She's
right?
an actress. She's a
No,
TV presenter.
what did she start with? Give us some background. You are the lead researcher.
Now, wow.
It's the
Give
background I'm
us
trying to give you
something.
now.
Who
She
is
got
Wolf, your
married.
father? Mm-mm. Who is she?
I just described her now. She's an actor. She's an actress. She's a TV presenter. She has like she's a restaurateur. That's
Yeah,
it.
Hmm.
That's the
that's
only
true.
three ways
Yeah.
I can describe her. How do you want me to describe her?
Wofia started. Wofia is one of the early people who started the Instagram and online skits in Nigeria. She's the
Oh,
first set,
okay.
right?
That's how
And
you
her
want
claim
to. Okay.
that's her. No, this is proper lead researching. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That was her claim to fame, right? So the
Okay.
the very this is before the Mr. Macaronis and Co. She was like, so where you had like the Craze Clown and the other guys, Mr. Carney and the other guys in the US. Wofia was
Yeah.
one of the first set of people who started doing those skits locally, and that's her like her claim to fame. And from there, she's built herself into being a broadcaster. She currently works at Super Sports as a co-anchor on one of the very popular shows, along with Chiwichu. Um, what's the name of that guy?
Moses
Jimmy.
The
Praise,
Moses Praise
Jamie.
and Jimmy and the
Yeah.
Yeah.
other lady. I like Super Picks, right?
Yeah. Chisom.
On DSTV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she, in terms of like branding, she moved from that. That was her entry into media, but she kind of stepped up and became a broadcaster. She also owns a restaurant called Just Afang,
Afang.
right?
Yeah.
Which was situated, I believe, at Lekki, but they've moved to somewhere on Awolowo Road, the same street
Yeah.
where you have 100 hours, where we the chow amala.
Yeah.
Steve now.
Yeah.
Remember that amala?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the best amala on the island. That
Jesus.
was
Yeah.
opposite Club 57. You party for 57 finish. As it dey hot,
On,
4
on,
a.m. You go chow
until,
amala.
until EFCC
Get it
busted the
done.
place open.
Anyways, so yeah, that is Wolf father. Please go ahead now, Steve.
So the reason I didn't want to make this about her because when things like this happen, there's so many contexts that we don't know. So like kind of like using that person's situation to like describe or like talk about a subject. I don't think he I don't think it's right. That's how I think about it. That's how I feel
Steve, you're
about
a journalist. This is how you start the conversation. It's a peek through into a bigger conversation. So
it.
you can
Yeah.
start there and you say, oh, in broader context,
Yeah. Okay.
what is wrong with Steve today, Ayo?
No, no,
He
no, no. I
went to the
don't.
fuel
Okay, okay.
station. He went to the
I'm
fuel
there.
station.
Think
tired.
I
I'm actually
is
tired.
how many
So
people did you fight at the fuel station? Tell me.
I don't fight anybody. I don't have
You
that
haven't
strength.
fought at all at the filling station.
For me, Steve Daly.
Nah, nah, nah. You're not a
Osagie,
Lagosian. I
if
don't
you believe that I fought,
take,
if you hear
take
I
this.
fought outside, will you believe it?
Yes.
Ah, no, no, don't believe it.
No, no,
I'm never going to fight.
no. You know why I
I
think
can
you.
defend myself. But
And that's what I'm saying now. I'm
okay,
not
okay,
saying you
okay.
are going to be the aggressor,
Oh,
but
okay,
if you
okay,
guys
okay,
have
okay.
lined up and there are five
Oh,
cars and one now entered the queue and wanted to
oh, man,
shut him, and
No,
I
the
did
guy,
not, I did
the
not
guy
have
went
stance.
out. Yeah, especially like if yeah, it happens every time. If especially if it's a position where I can't go forward without hitting you, I will allow you to enter.
come on, you're not entering. No.
As
One
long
guy
as I'm
did it
going
for
to
me.
get
I'm
fuel,
open.
I don't have it. I don't have a problem.
I shut the place down. I bought fuel for that guy.
Me, I shut the
The other
place down. It happened to me
I
last week.
shut the place down.
I
The
Yeah.
guy
cleared that.
didn't. I made sure the guy didn't buy that fuel until I bought my fuel. Do you
Man.
understand? And then I now gave it to all the attendants and give it to everybody around. I said,
Yeah.
this is why Nigeria is where it is. You all are a bunch of cowards. This is after I bought my fuel and the car was on. Oh.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Do you understand?
yeah.
just in case.
I said, oh,
No,
you all are a bunch of cowards,
I'm
all
not
of
going
you.
to
This is
do
how somebody will come and take your chance and your bet right, and you can't do anything. Useless people. And I
that.
sped off. Vroom. Anyways, okay, so
Okay, so
give it to me.
her wedding was this weekend, and like it's
Wedding
been
to
all over.
who? I'm
Bro,
gonna
I
fuck
don't
you up
listen.
this.
Bro, to be very honest,
Do you want to give us the
I don't pay
backstory?
that
You don't know the backstory.
I don't pay
Do you
that
want to
much
give us the
attention.
backstory?
I don't pay
Ayo,
that
do you
much
want to give
attention.
us
I
the
can't
backstory?
mention the names. I can't like I don't pay that much
There's
attention.
a
I
lot
just
of
get
context here because she's marrying into a supposed elite family, and
So
there's a whole backstory with how.
this is where I heard it from. So yesterday, last
Yes.
night, one of the notorious Insta blogs, not Insta blogger, just one of the Instagram blogs, put it up, and I saw for the first time in my life, I saw a press release from a family, but it makes sense because it's an elite family from the Cole family, and they came out to denounce the wedding of their 30-year-old son to Woifa, basically saying that they are not in support of this marriage. And attached to the post that this blog or this Instagram handle put out were pictures of a wedding ceremony, I believe. And the reason why they did not support the wedding basically is that the young man who is Taiwo Ko is 30 years of age, and the lady in question who we'll be talking about is reportedly 38 years of age, and they are frowning at that age gap. And it has been a nasty mess um, on the entertainment side, or I just say basically it has been a mess so far in the last 24 hours. Wofa has put out a subtle statement. The person in question, also his sister, his twin sister, has basically put out a statement saying she supports her brother, and he has found true love, and and also Wofa is reportedly pregnant. Just a little bit of cherry on the cake for the whole situation. And this has spawned a debate about you going against your family to marry the person you love, because obviously it doesn't seem like everybody in his family was present at that wedding, although there are reports that his mother, who is separated to his father, was present at that wedding. But it doesn't feel like the normal Nigerian wedding where everybody, your nuclear family, your extended family, your neighbors will go along. It felt like there was a huge gap in the groom side, and that is what has not led to this conversation or this topic that Steve has brought up. Like, so yeah, this now leads into the bigger picture of will you be comfortable marrying your partner knowing fully well that your family isn't on board? And when I mean your family, I mean like your nuclear family, your father, your mother. Like, and in the African or Nigerian context, you don't just get married to the person, you get married to the family. So it's necessary for you to have that consent from the family, so that obviously they're going to be involved down the road years later in your marriage, and how successful your marriage is going to be, how peaceful it is. And will you go ahead to still marry? I have a personal story on this, but I think that's the big question right here. Yeah, I didn't get married, Osagi. I said I just know. I know.
My my
and then
eyes lit
let's
up.
hear it. Yeah, yeah, my eyes lit up.
Eyes
I
lit
swear.
up. Say,
I've said this
this
story many times. I've said this story
is
many
this
times, but I'll
another
say it again.
is this another Don Jazzy got married earlier and we didn't know kind of story? Like
No, no,
I
no,
was
no,
no one's
no.
married. Is this the story behind the badon?
This
Okay,
is
I'm
not.
just joking.
Please, so
Go
don't
ahead, go
give
ahead.
something more fake ammunition. Yeah. So
Ah,
when I was uni, like I met this guy. Me and the guy were cool. We had a very tight friendship and everything. And after uni, like we still kept talking. We were very close and everything. And I actually knew his girlfriend. His girlfriend was in uni like at that time. I knew when they met and everything. And as things would go, they got engaged and they decided to get married. So my guy now tells me that you're going to be the best man at my marriage. Oh. I was like, ah, it's cool, cool, it's fine. I got you and everything. And we went for the what's that thing you do before the wedding?
The
The mock
introduction.
wedding.
Introduction.
No, not the mock wedding or something. I forget what
The one
Engagement.
the
no, no, no.
rehearsal.
There's the
Yeah,
rehearsal, the wedding rehearsal.
the wedding rehearsal in the white church. They were using the non-denominational church in Alausa. And I didn't know anything about the backstory. No, I was just chilling. At least I
Don't
knew.
give me this gist. I remember this gist. You
Yeah.
don't give, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
know,
Go
and
ahead.
I know his brother too was a Unilag, so it was like a tight knit, setup. And
Yeah.
that's how the reverend came and said, "There's a problem." Oh. And I said, "What's the problem?" That this my guy's family called him and said they are not in support of the wedding because they do not. Basically, they did not just like his wife. First of all, they said that she's not Catholic. She's not Catholic. That she's Pentecostal or something. Secondly, the mom did not like her because she felt that her son had started spending so much money on her and he wasn't taking care of them at home anymore. The uncles too did not like her. Yada 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 yada. And when I heard that story, when the guy was telling us the story, my guy was like, "I don't care. I'll get married without them, whether they like it or not." And they would now called the bride's mother, and she now came to allow her that day, and she said, "Look, she's in support of this marriage. That if my guy's family is not in support, she gives her support." And the reverend asked my guy, "Are you willing to get married tomorrow?" And he said, "Yes." He asked the bride too, "Are you willing to get married?" And she said, "Yes." Now, my guy's family said they're going to come and cause trouble at the wedding. The wedding was meant to take place like around 10 a.m. in church. My guy said, "You know what? This is the plan. Let's get married by 8 a.m. 2 hours before the whole marriage, before anybody comes to come and interrupt us or anything." So we just changed the date and everything. We changed the time. And 8 a.m., the groom was there, the bride was not there. On brand, the bridal train were not yet ready. Let me just say on brand because they had to do all the whole this thing. But by 8:15, Reverend don't come. We don't start ceremony already. There were bodyguards at the church just in case. Yes, they gave them the identity of all the brothers and the mother. My guy gave me his phone because he bought a car for his mom. See, he put a tracker. There was a tracker on his mom's phone, on his mom's car, obviously. So we're not tracking where she was going to. I'm checking if she was coming close, but she went to the island. I guess she went to go and talk to the uncles and everything. And the wedding went peacefully. Somebody said they saw his brother loitering around the wedding venue, but nothing happened. And that was the fastest wedding I've ever been to. Even when you finish the white wedding, they do the pictures. The pictures were quick. I was like, yo, yo, bride and crew, snap, snap, snap. Oh yeah, bride's family, oh yeah, snap, 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 snap. And we did the reception. At the reception, I was not even inside. I was outside to just check if
Scouting.
and scouting. About that day, I turned Inspector Bediako. At the
Yeah, you had your whole earpiece on. Yeah,
I
locating
had
the
shades on
family
that day,
now.
Seth. I had shades on that
Five
day.
kilometers, 5 kilometers away.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
was
So
I was even
clear.
with the bodyguards at
So
the
clear.
entrance, just in case. I was with the bodyguards at the entrance. I not chop that day until the end, though. Until the end of the reception.
You know,
I
chop
not
do
chop.
bodyguard. That's very dangerous, my brother.
Yes,
Don't do it
bro.
again.
Yeah, so luckily nothing happened. It was all smoke. My guy and his wife, they're living loving now. They have three daughters. I don't know if he has reconciled with his family and everything. I don't know about that one. But I know it was touch and go. Even from the bride's side, there was also issue because apparently, um, so the bride side too, not all of them showed up. It was only our uncle that showed up. And why? Once upon a time, her father just disappeared and he never came back. They never saw him again. He disappeared. They only saw his ID card on the road. So when she wanted to get married, she had to go back to the village to go and meet her extended family. And they said they have to do a sacrifice to a local deity to appease the gods over her father. And the bride's family said, "Look, we are Pentecostals. We don't believe in all that." And they said they're not coming. It was only one uncle that said, "Fuck it. He's a rebel. I'm coming to come and represent you." And they still went ahead. They are living good to today. Three daughters doing well. Wonderful. Now, that is a good side of the African magic story. I don't know about the bad side of the African magic story, but that's the good side me I know. So,
A round of applause to that gentleman.
yeah, balls of steel.
A round of applause. A round of applause.
Yeah,
Yeah, a round of applause to that gentleman. And thank you for that story, Ayo.
yeah,
Um, here's what I have to say. First things first. young men who are listening to this, and we speak there a lot to men, but we also speak to women. So I'll just say, young people, if you don't want people making decisions over your lives, and I think I've had this conversation before about how people can have their hands in your life, and for some reason, you have no direction to go because you just feel like people are the ones, they are the ventriloquist, and you are just the puppet
Yeah,
there moving to and dancing to their terms. There's a quick way to solve this problem, and the quickest way, is what?
yeah.
Be financially independent.
Oh yes, he was financially independent.
Yeah, it's the quickest way,
Yeah, he
guys.
was. Yeah.
So that's the first one you have to unlock, the financial independence. You have your own money. You can make those decisions. The second one you need to unlock is the mental one.
Mm.
Most parents now, I don't know about like other parts of the world. I mean, I have seen stuff and everything, but I'll tell you for a fact, right? Most parents in Nigeria have an emotional hold on their children, and it is
Yeah.
very unhealthy. We're not speaking directly to Wofia here, right? That was like what opened this conversation. And we can go into that. Let me even quickly touch on that before I come back here. Some of you people who are commenting and have opinions about things you don't know, you people are nasty human beings. Very nasty.
Wow. Wow.
I'm on someone's one of the page that they posted the video now. You're seeing why on earth would you even marry someone without the approval of the family? A bad husband is easy to handle, but not bad in-laws. This one. People are even insulting the young man because of his haircuts. Like you don't know these people that well. There's no context to your commentary. They are just being vile. You are nasty people. Very, very nasty people. And I hope you can do better with your lives. But let's move away from that. So financial independence is the first thing. You have to unlock it. Because if you are in the house and whether it's an elite family or not an elite family, I'm not even going to go into that.
Yeah.
But you always have to receive some sort of money from your folks or from the family trusts.
The trust fund,
People are
baby.
going to see at the end. Let's strip all these things away and strip family and my mother, my daddy, my let's strip it away. Human being they give you money, you go control you now.
Yeah, def.
You only have if you find people who actually help you out from the love of their heart and leave you to be independent. Hold on to those kind of people
Mm-hmm. They are rare.
because they are very rare. We have friends. Steve, you can add to this. We have friends. If they give you money, they want they control you. Guy, where you
Yep.
they come? You they come 6 o'clock, Abi. You go there
Yep.
now, and you they come now.
Mm.
We know people
Yep.
that I don't know if you guys know, but I know people
Yep.
that the guy takes care of the other guy because he's not financially independent. Like he's not buoyant yet. He
Yeah.
controls the family. That guy's
Yeah.
family. The wife has to. The wife will not be revering him. There's some sort of reverence.
She will
And
kneel
they
down
come
for
in
you
house by
now.
4. You woman will start cooking. He's coming by 4.
Yep. 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 Yep.
We saw this thing played in the 90s now. Uncle is coming. Hey, everybody.
And they
On
know
to
him as the
waiting.
bread. You know him as the breadwinner of the family. So everybody has to
It's not
align. Everybody has to align.
what the Hove say on that record, legacy. That generational shit stops with me.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here with that shit. Oh god. A family podcast.
Well, it
I've
happens,
changed
ladies
my
and gentlemen.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I lost it. I apologize. Do you understand? That hold is there. Somebody wants to get married. Has guys, especially those who are parents now and have young ones, or to soon to be parents, don't go down the line of your parents where you think you can dictate the life or how a young person that has reached an adolescent stage, right, behaves to the point where you want to dictate who they'll get married to the point you want to dictate how many children they will have. It is an unhealthy, toxic behavior. You need to let people go ahead and live their lives. Strip it away. I born you. You're my family. Once a person reaches a certain age, you need to acknowledge the person as that human being. That person
Mm-hmm.
is a human being with
Yeah.
his own life. What do you want to do? That's what you want to do. That's what you want to have. I love you enough to support you, not what you want to do. Stop trying to control people. It's unhealthy. Person wants to go and make his mistakes. You can try your best to do what? To say, hey, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Do you know the worst part? The worst thing should be what? Like bad worst case scenario should be what? I don't want to be a part of this, so I'm going to absolve myself and I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
Right? Or I
Mm-hmm.
don't think you're making the right decision. I'm not going to be a party of it. I take my leave. You can also do that. But no, you must not marry this person. You must not. Is this Nollywood in the 90s? Come on, what's
It
going
is.
on?
Bro, we never left that. We never left that mentality because of that. Because they don't shoot movies like that anymore. Doesn't mean it doesn't still happen. It happens, my brother.
I have a friend who says her father has insisted, she's from the southeast, and her
Yeah,
father has insisted she must not only marry someone from the southeast, she must marry someone from their
that village.
tribe. Yes,
Uh-huh.
from that part of where
That part
they're
of the
from.
year. Standard now. Standard.
So she can so in her head, and I was able to unlock it for her. Because when you are told this thing from a very young age, it becomes a doctrine. It's almost like you're brainwashed. So for her, she was like, "Ah, I can't." And I asked her one simple question. I said, why? And she said, oh, my father, blah, blah, blah. And I said, your father has gone ahead to live his own life. As a matter of fact, you're not even aware of the life your father lived.
Mm-hmm.
But you want another person who has lived his own life, 60 years plus, to determine how you live yours at the detriment of your happiness. So you're telling me today, if you find somebody who's from another region of the country, another ethnicity, this person treats you well, loves and respects you, everything you want, everything you ever desired, this person is, you see in this person, you would then say no because of what your father said. And I broke it down like that in minute points. And I was able to unlock it for her. And hopefully it's unlocked. This is what we're dealing with.
The mental bondage, mental
A
slavery,
bunch of classists, tribalists.
religionists.
Thank you. What else? People who are determined to ruin this country. Let me take it there.
Oh, you went there.
Let me take it there. Because tell me, Ayo, oh, that the story of that your friend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If the girl was from the top premium, elite family, would your friend's mother be talking like that?
Lie, 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 lie.
So what are we really saying, fam? I yield the mic.
Yes.
So
Oh shit! Thank you,
the
Senator.
angle, thank you, thank you, thank you. Is that a non-alcoholic beer?
What I'm drinking?
Yes, sir.
No.
Okay, okay, all right.
But
So let's go.
I mixed it with apple juice.
Okay, so there's context to like these conversations. So guys, that's absolutely right. You guys have been right, right? So there are two types of objections to like a partner, a choice of a partner, either out of consent or out of oh, I'm the authority. You must. Do you get? The authority own is where I have a problem. Like once you go that route, oh yeah, fuck off. I'm going to get married to who I'm going to marry to. But you see, there's one done out of genuine concern, which is like in southeast, in my like from where I come from, right? If you're getting married, your people will go to the wife, your partner's hometown or village just to do some sort of investigation. I don't know how they do it in the southwest, but is that's how
Background
they do
check.
it.
Yeah.
They do background check, like they go after the family. Bro, these things you are unaware of it. They'll come and tell you later that they've done it. But they go to the
Standard.
village, they go to the village,
Standard.
they do their investigation. So
Yeah.
I've had a friend, not a friend, like it's someone I know who they came back from the background check to say, listen, we know love, we know everything. You know, you guys met in Lagos, you fell in love. But this family is very diabolical, right?
Hmm.
And from our investigation, oh, family can be diabolical and the girl does not know anything about it. From my
Yeah.
investigation, this
Yeah,
girl is an
absolutely.
active participant of these diabolic acts, right?
Hey yo.
She does everything. Like she does all sorts of like sacrifices, like stuff. Like we've confirmed it. And
She a core member.
She's
An
coming,
active member.
willing
and the guy went to
participant.
ask the girl, and the guy went to ask
Starting
the girl,
11.
and the girl used her religion, the type of church she attends, to support her argument that that's not something that she's planning to live in her life. Like it's a part of her. That's how she was raised, and because she's getting married does not mean she's going to leave it, right? Just did that whole don't oppress me type of shit because I'm getting married to you, right?
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation with a cousin who was advising him that listen, you have to be absolutely be very careful of what you are going into. If it's something that you can condone, you know, fine. But it's something that you can't condone, fine. Even if you can condone it, do you know the implications of what she's doing? Do you understand the consequences of what she did? Do you know how deep it is? Like questions like that.
Yeah,
But the guy was apparently in love, he didn't care. And the parents didn't tell him, oh, if you marry them, I'm not going to come. Right? Although the dad later didn't come. But he didn't do it out of spite. It was like, man, I don't want to deal with this shit. Like I already know where this is going.
Hmm.
And my guys, I won't lie and I know there are people who are literally like really woke and they don't go into those spiritual, don't believe all those spiritual things and stuff like that.
Okay.
But my guy
Oh.
went into this marriage and stuff happened. Bro, like when they say when the guy came out, when he escaped,
I
right?
like the way you say escaped. When he
He
escaped,
went to his parents' house first for like 2 years. He be like say you go, he be like say you go serve people, like say, Mona no
He goes
vex.
he goes seek
Like
refuge.
like Mona no vex. And the parents were really, really the parents did so much and protected him before he traveled out of the country. But they did so much. First of all, I think there was this something they did what we had so many they take into every time. They said he wasn't going to go the first time. They beat him up. The girl's brother came to the house to beat him up. How would you somewhere would go every time? You say you're not going to go, like stuff like that. So the guy was
huh?
really helpless because one, his family like took a step back and just abandoned him. But it was later when he cried out for help that everybody came to. So there are two ways. If it comes out of genuine concern, you as an adult, right? You have to also be logical to say, woman, your man or woman, like your partner, your husband to be or your wife to be, to say, these are the concerns that my family have raised or people have raised about me getting married to you. What do you have to say about it? So assurances, future promise, like do things as an adult, like as a responsible and logical adult, right? To address concerns because this is see, I think a problem that we have is people don't understand the meaning of marriage. People don't understand what
Hmm.
it is to be married to people, to someone.
Hmm.
Like there's no dilly dallying. Like it's not a child's play. Like when you get married to someone, that you become that person. Like you people like it's there in the Bible. Two becomes one. Like it's a serious matter.
To become
I like it's not
one.
you are not dating. It's something that you have to deal with all level of seriousness. So when concerns are raised, you should be able to. But when it comes out of like, oh, we feel that she's too old for you, or we feel that she doesn't come from the family, or you're spending too much. Those are flimsy and nonsense excuses. Like nobody should pay mind to them, and you have every right to go and you have every right to rebel and just move on. But come on, man. When it's out of genuine concern, my brother, my sister, marriage is not easy. You have to
It's
sit
not
down,
easy,
eh?
oh. It's not easy,
And
and it's
address
good.
those concerns.
Yeah, I remember this background check you said. I remember back then when I was young. I also heard it in the southwest that they do background check for your future spouse to see if the family name is honorable, to
Yeah.
ensure that like there are no like family genetic disorders
Thank you. Like
like
yeah, so
madness or
exactly.
like any sickness
Thank
and
you.
everything. So yes,
Thank
on that
you.
level, I do agree that yes, there'll be family checks.
Yeah.
But this concerning this issue we're talking about that has to do with classism,
No,
religion,
exactly.
all that one is just a
Those ones are
those are just
nonsense.
complicating the whole matter entirely. I don't
Exactly. Those are
feel those ones
nonsense.
should
Yeah.
I don't feel those ones should be seen as like gang or anything like that. But family
No.
checks do happen because at the end of the day, we're in
Come on.
Nigeria. We get
Come
married
on.
to the family, whether anybody accepts or
My
not. Let's
brother.
forget modernity or anything.
My
You are getting
brother.
married to that family. If your wife says, my brother has come and live with us for like 6 months, he's looking for a
Ah,
job in Lagos.
my,
What do
my
you, would
brother.
you not say, no, 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 no? I'm a modern man. You should go look for an apartment. No,
Hmm.
it's not
Hmm.
possible. Nah.
You
You
should
do it,
know
you
what
take it
you're
like that. Yeah,
yeah, you should know what you're getting into. It's as
yeah,
simple as
definitely.
that.
I think even
You know,
as a guy, before your family even comes in, you should do background check of whoever you're
thank
dating.
you. You
Know
on your
that,
own, you
yeah,
on your own, you would have been. You would
You
have
go
been
to check.
seeing signs and
Yeah.
reading the whole situation to say, what am I getting myself into?
Step into
Because
what's
my
our
brother,
relationship with our father, what's our relationship with our mother, you
thank
know,
you.
their
There's a
religion. Let's know
saying
the
that
level of their
once you
religion.
marry, there's a saying that once you marry a bad partner, the devil leaves you alone. Like his work is done. Like
It's
okay,
gone,
this one
bro.
don't go. And this
There's
one, this one
automatic.
is. You don't understand. Like the devil will not be like the devil will be like, oh, okay, this one is job
during
done.
the stand up, they will just say,
Exactly.
so someone
Task
just raised it.
completed.
Oh, what about this person? They said, complete this task. It now has something to do with we have we have other
Yeah.
things to deal
We have
with.
other
Yeah,
things
yeah,
to do
yeah,
with
yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So background
They'll
checks
just
are
complete it.
necessary.
They will move the card on the Trello board. They'll just move it
They just
to
move
complete.
it to complete.
So
In fact, they will even archive the card.
yeah. Because bro,
They will-
once you enter a bad marriage that has family issues,
Ah, my brother.
bro,
Yeah.
bro,
So yeah.
bro, it's between
Bro,
you.
let me tell you, have I ever told you? I once dated somebody and I overheard a phone call with the person between the person and the family,
Yeah.
and my mouth was open, and I was like, yikes,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's a problem you adopt,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
and
also
you spend
yeah.
half of your lifetime trying to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you guys this thing. So I had a friend, right, who dated this girl and was very serious with her, right? And he mentioned it to a couple of family members, took her to a couple of family occasions and stuff like that. I don't know. Someone in the family just took it upon himself to say, who is this girl? Let me go and check something, right? And he came back with the feedback to the guy to say, see, this girl is a very good girl. Like this, she's good. You have to be careful about her family. She's the breadwinner of her family. Like her family
Oh,
has not like she looks after, like when people are entitled to your money. Like
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
god!
They
so
demand your
people
money.
in her family who are
Then
entitled to her
then
money.
then choke for
And
Niger.
because she's single, she actually attends to their needs. They fear that, okay, there's also a context. This girl has been abandoned at the near, like not really at the altar, but when some marriage plans have been concluded and the
Yeah,
guy falls out.
advanced.
There have
Mm.
been almost two cases of that prior to this guy, right? So that the feedback was to this guy was that, oh, from what we found out, the reason is because they don't want her to get married. If you eventually go and get married and pass all those hurdles and they don't and pass all those hurdles to get married, you don't know what might come with it,
Out
right?
of it.
You're in for
Like
it, buddy.
exactly, they might harm you, they might. And this guy sat the babe down and said, "This is what I heard." The babe said, "See, how it's true. Like it might be true because of my history. You know what we should do? Let's abandon everybody. Let's jackpot."
Let's elope
Hmm.
one
And they
time.
jackpot. You don't understand? So that is a girl who was willing to say, you know what? Yes, I recognize how this can be a problem. Let me detach myself from it. You understand? So,
You
and
gave us two
everybody,
stories now
yeah,
with
Yeah,
different
exactly
scenarios,
different
right? And I
scenarios. Thank
almost
you.
opposite
Almost
scenarios.
opposite
yeah.
scenarios. So,
Yeah. I
yeah,
think the first guy, shout out to him, and I hope he's
yeah.
doing
Shout out to
well.
him.
I think
Shout
he
out to
was a
him.
bit unwise,
A bit in love.
Yeah,
especially because once he got the feedback from his family or whoever and went to the lady actually opened up to him and said, "Hey, man, it's the crazies up in here.
yeah.
It's the crazies.
It is what
It,
what it is.
You know,
hey,
I was like, you know what? You know, how in every movie, every horror movie, there's that
yeah,
point of decision you have to make to run away
yes,
or to go further into the
or to
plot and
stay.
die. That was the moment
Yes,
for that guy. He's like,
Yes."
no, fuck it. Let me run. Let me. That was the moment. Should have just
And
gone
yeah,
at
like,
that moment is when he knew.
you,
He didn't know he had fucked up
you
then. I'm
fucked
sure it
up,
was later
yes.
on. When the first beating happened.
Yeah, can't do
You
flashback.
understand?
It can't do flashback.
Uh,
So yeah, this one
yeah,
that fucked up. Yeah,
yeah. So the other guy now, he brought the conversation to her, and she
yeah.
was like, you know what? That's true.
That's true.
Hey, I'm aligned with you.
Let's check. Let's
Let's
get away.
elope.
Yeah, did a
And
court
how can you
wedding
elope?
and moved.
You elope because you have money in the
Yeah,
pocket.
of course, of course, of
sure.
course.
Something
Yeah,
like
you can do it.
So
someone that was the financial breadwinner for our family. So
uh-huh.
And
So
that got me thinking. Nigerian juju and Nigerian witches, they don't get visa. They don't defeat travel.
my brother, it's like some let me explain it to you. It's like
Okay.
some sort of network.
Okay.
Okay, some
This will be
network na
interesting.
na local area network.
Yeah, you know if you pass that level,
Oh,
Some
yeah, yeah,
network na
yeah.
international network.
strong
Oh,
one.
okay, 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 okay,
You
okay.
understand? You get network where once you don't pass some like they pass sea, if you
Yeah,
pass the
yeah. You
Atlantic
know if you
Ocean,
pass,
At all.
yeah,
it no fits. You understand? Because the connection with underwater cable no get,
you know
You
no
know,
get.
day.
that
Mm,
optic
You
fiber,
understand?
no dey.
So once you
mm.
don't fly over the Atlantic,
You are good.
or I think on the other side is the Pacific, you are good.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Well,
But my brother, it gets some network. Remember that year when you they make your local 15 naira per minute, you get some people will get to Raya.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Now they use
Basically,
GSM all round.
it's Raya is a sat phone now, right?
Yeah, the sat phone. Yeah,
It's a
Yeah.
sat phone. It means you can call Albania
anywhere in
now.
the
It's
world.
just good. You can call
Yeah.
anywhere, right? You get some network where if they knock the network wherever you day,
Uh-uh.
Ah, it's
You've not
coming
heard
through.
of these stories of this a Nigerian will be in America for like 20 years, never visited home, never came back. All of a sudden, he wakes up in the middle of the night, buys a ticket, and flies back to Nigeria. When he lands,
actually,
when he lands in Murtala Mohammed Airport, you'll not be asking, "What am I doing here?" Now jazz
actually,
they
there was
sent
a
that jazz
there
they
was a
sent the
case
guy.
of yeah, growing up in Ipaja, right,
Mm,
exposed me to quite a number of things. There was a case of a guy who was, I don't know if he was pronounced clinically insane, but he was a madman in the market square.
yeah.
And the story was that a legend says is that he was doing very well in the US of A, and he got called. I'm using that in
Mm-hmm.
air quotes now. He
Got
got called
called.
back, and once he came back, you know,
Yeah, there are plenty of
things
them like
happened.
that. Yeah, you just see like they look mad, and when they speak, you know that this accent no be imitation.
Yeah.
This person must have lived abroad for a while.
Anyways, I think in conclusion from my end is independence is very important, right?
Yeah,
I think you should take care of your family. Your family is your family at the end
Yeah.
of the day. But I think there are some
Very,
decisions that
very.
you need to make for yourself. Because at the end of the day, once you're on that deathbed, passing away, your life is going to flash through everything you did, every decision you made, right? Every friend you made, every enemy you made, every person you were with, everything is going to flash right in front of your eyes, and you don't want to be that person that says, how I wish I had done it differently. You want to have a smile on your face and say, I lived a good life. That's my own submission to this. Okay, so from marriages and weddings to people spraying money at marriages and weddings.
nice
um
segue. Nice segue.
Thank you. Our correspondent, Steve Dede, please, can you give us an update on Chief Priest and the Economic and Financial Crimes and Commission?
Okay. When you mean the update now, I'm not going to talk about his arrest and the first court appearance
You
because
gotta do that. What if this is the
because
first
everyone
time?
knows. Okay,
No,
so
don't do that.
all right,
That's
right,
the
A,
right.
danger
liber-
of a single story.
a
Okay, okay, okay.
librarian could be listening, right? Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So after Bobrisky's arrest and
What
subsequent
happened to Bobrisky? You gotta
yeah,
go in,
I'm
bro.
going there. I'm going there. After his arrest and subsequent sentencing to jail for 6 months for the abuse of the naira, right? So Bobrisky, as we all know, was arrested by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and he was persecuted in court, and he has been sent. He has been sentenced. He's serving. He's now serving, currently serving his term at Kirikiri, the infamous Kirikiri. I think a week or 2 weeks later, Chief Priest, the popular and the popular socialite, and he was also invited and arrested by the EFCC and brought to court. In his first court appearance, he pleaded not guilty, and he was given a bail of 10 million naira, and of which he satisfied the bail requirements, and he was released. And he came out and made a couple of posts about EFCC being a very friendly association, friendly commission. If you don't have any issues with them, if they invite you, go. Their place is very nice. They will even give you food, blah 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 blah. you know and I remember he also went for an event around that period too and made a comment about not spraying money, that he has learned his lesson, and did a post, advising Nigerians to stop spraying money. What?
Keep going, keep going, keep going. We're
Okay,
here.
okay.
Hey,
So he had his second court appearance, and the story from that court appearance was that the EFCC and him and the EFCC have agreed to settle out of court, to settle the issue out of court, which which unofficially means that everything has been settled and is not out of court. So that means there's no threat, there's no risk of being jailed like Bobrisky. And the conversation
Hmm.
now is like, what is the difference between both parties, between Bobrisky and Chief Priest? What did he do right that Bobrisky did not do? Because guy, being an ex-convict is being a citizen of Nigeria is already a hard task. Like, like we all like being an ordinary citizen of this country is already hell. Just imagine being an ex-convict, like which means that you don't have full rights as a citizen. Do you guys understand the implication? Just
Yeah.
understand what that
Yeah.
means from a Nigerian point of view in terms of you traveling, having visa. Like, do you like if you're filling visa forms, to travel like to countries and they say, have you been arrested by the police? Like, you guys don't I have so much sympathy for him because I don't know how he gets out of this thing.
For her. For her.
No, no, officially in court, he declared as a guy. I go with
Yeah.
official
Let's not forget. Yes, he
declarations,
did
please.
actually declare as a guy,
Yeah, he declared as a guy.
Okay,
He
so
didn't. He didn't tell the court
as
that he
a
was
not a guy, a man.
a man, a
a
man, a
man.
man, a man.
Okay.
So
All right. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
so it's just I just have so much sympathy for him, on how life is just going to be like really tougher for him as an ex-convict in Nigeria. So yeah, that is the overview of the whole chief priest Cubana issue with the EFCC.
Hmm.
Osagie, I hope I've been able to
Hmm.
make you proud with this overview, with this summary.
To be honest, I didn't expect less. I Steve Diddy is the lead researcher. Come on. Come on. I think there's one thing you missed in all of this, which is very important,
Yeah.
right? Money na water.
Oh yeah, you leave that. You left that one out. Yeah.
His commentary also, as everything was going, was quite confident from his own end
From
that
his own
he'll
end,
be
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Not to dig into the details of how the judiciary works, um, or legislation works in Nigeria. I think at the end of the day, right, he didn't fold.
Yeah.
He didn't fold by not pleading
Yeah.
guilty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think. Yeah, and he let his lawyers handle it, and I guess they were able to fight the case or plead his case by. It's up to the EFCC to prove
Beyond
without
reasonable
any
doubts.
reasonable doubt
Yeah.
thank you, beyond reasonable doubts, right? No pun to the beautiful artwork in your background, Ayo. Beyond reasonable doubt that he actually spent, I mean, through the committed a crime, so to
Yeah.
say, right,
Yeah.
with the naira. And if you can't reach that conclusion, and that's the prosecutors, it then means that you have to either let the case go or just settle out of court. And that's what has happened. And everybody has stayed faced and moved on. But I think this is a warning to every other person. You might not have the clouds
Yeah. Or the
or the
rich.
strong legal backing or reach as someone as chief priest. So please don't throw money around. Don't do any of that. Right? Don't get caught on camera throwing money around. Etc. Etc. Steve.
So is the crime now being caught on? Is the crime now? Is it being caught on camera spraying money or actually spraying money? Because if the
Spraying money is a
because I
crime.
feel that
You
if
understand? But the only way I can prosecute you is
yeah,
that
Yeah.
I have evidence.
Now who they catch
but
with thief now?
but if because yesterday in Cubana I still saw a woman selling crypto naira notes and I was asking myself why. Because if this thing if the EFCC or whatever commission that is interested in it is very very serious about it, they will be making at least in Lagos they'll be making at least let me just double, at least 5,000 arrests every weekend from Friday, Saturday, Sundays, right? And that will drive a better message, a bigger message, a more understood message of don't abuse the naira than just targeting celebrities. Because the celebrity gist is that it is for something else. Like for Bobrisky, people are saying it's for they're punishing him for this cross-dressing thing or something like that. That's the narrative, right? So if you're trying to drive this bigger message, this narrative that spraying of the naira is bad, I'm sure they know where to get people who are spraying money than just waiting on the internet to pick on celebrities and just take them to court.
So you're saying they should nip it at the bud, which is go straight to the people who sell, like,
Yes, who
hey,
sell?
bro.
Yeah.
Bro, we talked about before when this podcast started. We talked about if the compromise.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because
Yeah.
that's another network that you are trying to open. Of
Yeah.
because how do the mints get to those people's hands?
True. True.
Yeah,
True.
They are not printing the mints now.
True.
yeah.
True.
I'm getting it from
There's
somebody.
a market.
Somebody's yeah. There's a plug.
There's a market. Yes, there's a market. And then in that market, people just do what? They just mark up the price after they've paid because somebody is buying the mints from somewhere
Yeah.
and getting the mint out, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then reselling the mint to the retailers who then sell the mint to people who want to go to weddings to spray money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole chain.
It's an ecosystem basically.
So if you really want to nip it in the bud,
Go to the
and it's a
source.
good way to nip it, it's also a good way to nip it in the bud by saying if we arrest people who deface the naira most times with the mint, right? It means that we disrupt the market because if there's nobody buying your product then becomes obsolete,
Absolutely.
and then
Yeah.
you destroy the value chain all the way back up.
But guess
It's
what?
actually not.
But
It's a
guess
smart
what?
thing to do as well. Yeah.
What if I buy the mint and I don't spray? I just give it to where I want to give it to. I just hand it over to you. There's no spraying.
To be very honest, if you remove spraying from the whole thing, it crashes the market.
Oh, okay.
It does now.
Yeah. It
It
does.
crashes the
It
market.
does. It does. There's no. That's yeah. It does. Yeah. It does
The
actually.
It
flamboyance of
crashes
it
the
is
market.
gone. Yeah, the essence of it has gone.
Yeah. So weddings, birthdays, funerals. If you
Parties,
crash that market, there's no demand. So that retailer lady or man who sells that, at the event
entrance.
center gates,
Mm-hmm.
right? When she goes for 2 3 weddings
And
in
she
that
don't sell anything.
Oregon axis
Yeah.
and nobody's buying. How she going the next time a supplier comes and says, I have 100, I have
Market no
maybe
dey.
400,000, she will say market, nobody they buy again. I no do. And then the thing goes all the way back up and then mints flow normally. So I guess it's a way to crash the market the other way, right?
Mhm.
Boom. But congratulations to all parties involved.
Yeah.
Well
Congratulations to
done.
everybody. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
including Bobrisky.
Well, 6 months, you just created a monster
Yeah.
Yeah,
because after the 6 months is done, Bob is going to go ham.
it's good, bruh.
It's like when Pac got out of jail.
Fuck Bad Boy. Fuck Biggie. Fuck Mob Deep.
Yeah,
Fuck Jay
Bob
Z.
is because Bob now has jail status. Like I don't did it.
No, but you know what?
Yeah.
He can't be like Pac. You know why he can't be like Pac? He doesn't have
Why?
Suge Knight. He doesn't have Suge Knight.
He'll be the gay Tupac.
No, we already have a gay to Pac. We already have a gay to Pac.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Smollett.
This is Juicy Swirly. I'll never forgive.
I'm the gay Tupac. People get carried.
Oh
Yeah,
my
people get carried
lord.
away with stuff.
Oh
That was
god.
that whole thing was funny.
Dave Chappelle is a fool. I'll never forget that joke in my life.
So the French actor.
Man,
Is that with the French actor?
I'm not like
Juicy
which French
Swirly.
actor. I just say Juicy Swirly. I say, oh god. See that joke and the Jaru joke. I'll never forget. Dave Chappelle is goated for those two.
Talking about the
Oh,
Charles joke,
Jaru.
right? Let's quickly segue into um the video of Tenny. The video Tenny posted, Tenny the entertainer, the Tenny Makanaki, the artist, Nigerian artist, she posted a video of her, showing reverence to um,
IBD
an
Dende.
individual called IBD Dende, right? Who has been in
Dende,
multiple
not Diddy.
reports.
Dende.
Dende. Dende.
I said
Dende.
Dende. I
No,
said Dende.
I'm just trying to like
Enunciate it well.
get that
Enunciate it
point.
well. Make
Yeah.
so that
IBD Dende.
so when my guy is feeling visa, they won't ask you, are you related?
My brother.
I feel him. I feel him. So, there was a video she put out and she was showing reverence to him. She prostrated, hailed him, and everything. I think they were on the plane, right? And she posted the video. And like I said, Abidi Dinde has been in multiple news reports of. It has been reported that he has been leading a smuggling. He leads a smuggling
Syndicates,
Like
allegedly.
he's
business.
like
Because,
allegedly like he's like the biggest smuggler in Nigeria.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of the biggest smuggler in Nigeria,
Yeah.
etc. etc. There's been like multiple, reports. There's been videos. There's been and it has been led by the Foundation of Investigative Journalism. the
Desire.
editor in chief, Fisher Shoyombo, it's been a whole thing. So when that video dropped, everybody was like, "Why are you hailing a criminal? What is this? What is that?" And the thing just went out of proportion. She came back to say, "I didn't even know this was happening. I know this person. This person helped me out once in the past, etc, etc." My submission for this is one thing, and I think we've adopted this from Black American culture. Sorry to go there. I
Ayo.
think,
Hmm.
Hmm?
yeah,
Hmm.
I think there is an emphasis, and I don't know who created this, but it has seeped into Nigeria. There is now an emphasis on Nigerian celebrities to lead or to be the North Star or to lead
Oh
the
yeah, I agree.
moral
Yeah,
uh,
be the
to
moral
to have
compass.
moral compass, yes, and be the shining beacon when it comes to the moral fabric of the society.
Also, can I say
I
something?
think yes, please.
The average Nigerians who are criticizing Tenny, if they see everybody day in real life, they go to roll on the floor just for
I won't even attribute it to like the average Nigerian because we know the average Nigerian. I'll say like way above the average
way
Nigerian,
above the
please.
Nigerian. Who you think should know better?
Yeah.
Will do cra- something crazier. So the delusion that celebrities are meant to be the moral custodians or the society, the social political guardians of a country is bullshit at the end of the day. Sean Kuti said something once. He said, whenever somebody says something that is anti-Semite or against Jewish people, you don't see Jewish entertainers coming out. You see the doctors, you see the academia, the academia. You see it happen in every race. But how come? And I'm using the black race now as a totality, even though I know that African American and Nigerians are different people. How come whenever something crazy happens, you expect entertainers to come out? What happened to the doctors, the engineers, the professors, the thinking, the people who are actually putting down, who are actually intellectual? I'm not saying entertainers are not intellectual, but people who are like in the academic profession coming out to come and represent, what is being addressed. But every time you now want people, you also like Portable to now come out and say, you know what, let's lead the protest against. It's not done. It's not done. These entertainers are just like you and I. They're looking for their next paycheck. Don't dare deceive you that there's that. They are looking for their next paycheck. So if an entertainer wants to greet whoever wants to greet, I don't see that as a problem. I don't see that as a problem. Simple.
Very well said. You took the words right out of my mouth, Ayo. The same way I feel. You please like be better with who you look up to make you know decisions for you or your country.
Yeah.
Like even you look inwardly and say, should an artist who's like every other person, is this the person? What ideals has this person come out to say they follow for you to then
Yeah.
hinge your own entire ideals and philosophy on them?
Come on. It's unfair on them. It's
Something is
unfair.
happening, you start hearing, oh, Burna Boy has not said anything, Davido has not said anything, Wizkid has not said anything, Tiwa Savage
Why?
has not said anything. Olamide, why?
Why can't
Why?
you
And
go and say
why are these
something?
people you look up to in terms like, and I'm not no shade to them because they are like every other person. And I'm saying this now because I don't want anybody to not start saying, what's the loose talk crew saying about this? You know, it's the same thing. Who are the people? Oh, man, guys, look inwardly, and maybe it can also be a case of so many people in these revered positions have failed people, right? That they now look onto another subset of people in the society to say, okay, maybe you guys can help us out.
But these are not the
Because
people.
now something is happening in like Lagos, right? If something is happening in certain local governments, maybe there was something negative, there was a shooting or there was a fracas between two factions or whatever, right? You should be looking at the local government chairman, you should be looking at the councillors, you should be looking
Elected
at
officials.
um, the elected officials, the House of Rep member representing that constituency. But you guys don't even know who they are,
You don't know them at all. Yeah.
and they don't make it. They don't also make it a. They don't make it easy for you to know who they are.
Oh,
To be
bro.
honest,
Bro.
do you understand? Because the websites don't exist. Because these guys
Emails
are like in the
bounce.
shadows.
Emails
Yes.
bounce.
Look at you. You've been writing to your House of Rep member, and his email has been bouncing.
Yeah.
Is it a Gmail or an official email?
It's an official email.
It's an official email and it has been bouncing.
I didn't even know.
Ah.
Guess what? My senator decided to feed 10,000 people. I didn't even know. until I passed like their local government headquarters. I'm like, wow, so senator can do this. I'll not even let your constituents know at the end of the day.
You get. So maybe because that has happened, everybody has now turned to the next set of people who they think which are entertainers.
But you didn't
Let me
vote
tell you
them.
something, guys. Newsflash. Exactly. You didn't vote them. They didn't run for office to represent you. So please don't go and hinge your whole moral compass on somebody that is just making music and trying to live their life.
Simple, man.
I beg, I beg, I beg.
I beg.
Please don't hold anybody.
Let's think better.
If you want to judge that person and what they've done, that's fine. Judge the person on, oh, you are hailing this kind of person. Okay, I see who you are. This is the kind of person you are. That's fine. But don't then say that person, you have the right to call that person out because that person is associating with people that you don't like or people that are reported to, XYZ. Steve.
I think to valid points. I think I just want to add that you know Tenny's decision to post that thing and comes from an assurance, comes from a confidence that nothing is going to happen. Like nobody can cancel me, right?
Yeah,
She had
because no one didn't record the video and post it on a
exactly. She
randomly.
definitely.
She posted it.
Thank you. So, and that comes from you know the the how do I put it, the deterioration of our moral. How do I, is it compass or fiber? I don't know how to put it. Like
Our moral
the anything,
standing.
our moral standards, everything goes right. Like look at who voting, look at the people who vote into positions in power, right? So yeah, that's that kind of
Yes,
like
now.
really it reflects the kind of society we are. An American citizen, that American artist, for example, will be scared to be associated publicly with someone that's like that has been reportedly involved in crime just because of what it will how it will affect their career. But in Nigeria,
Because there's consequence.
nothing affects
Yeah.
your
There's
career. There's no
consequence.
consequence. There's no consequence in
Yeah.
Nigeria. You can be a former drug
Bro.
dealer. You can become
Yeah.
anything you want in this country. You can be a criminal in America. You come back in Nigeria, they will vote you. You can be anything.
Anything, but nigga.
Nothing affects you in Nigeria,
Yeah.
and it's a sad and dangerous trend. You
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Look at Donald Trump. Before, when Donald Trump was just a billionaire, celebrities loved him. Every celebrity
What?
was his friend. The
Hmm.
Everybody
moment,
rapped about it being at the Trump Towers,
yeah,
something on the Trump.
the
Yeah.
moment my guy opened his mouth and started speaking about politics, everybody denounced him. Everybody, because they know that almost the heat is going to come on us. So
Yeah,
yeah, but you can't say, oh, a musician should do better when you have not done better, when you support certain politicians or you look away when politicians do not do their job, and you're not expecting a superhero to come out from the entertainment industry and now be the voice for you when you have been silent. You have been a coward throughout, and you now expect somebody to now put his own neck in the line for you. Bro, everybody in Nigeria is fight for survivor. And anyway you feel maker, you feel maker. So unless you are doing better, you cannot judge the next man. And obviously, seeing the way our country is going, bro, we don't have a right to judge anybody in this country. We
no
do
right at
not.
all. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next thing. Beef, beef, beef. Before we go into the Yankee beef, let us start on the local front. Well,
Yeah,
no more
yeah,
local,
yeah.
it's international now.
International baby.
Um, I don't want to talk too much on this. I don't want to go too much
Why?
on this.
Why?
Why? You already know how it gets. It can get quite touchy, right?
You get brolic.
Um, but yeah, somebody called somebody an influencer. I don't
Oh,
know.
this
Ayo, do
one.
you want to?
Oh,
Yeah, please
okay.
take over.
So let me give you updates. We are going way back to December 2023. We had one of the wildest dirty Decembers in recent history. Afrobeat was live. Wizkid was in Lagos for like 6 months, for like 4 months. Davido was in the building also, Burna Boy. And there was one particular event, I think it's called Even the Day. Shout out to DJ 67, shout out to Tyler who was DJing that day. Wizkid was in the building, and when it rains and there's sun, when there's sunshine and it rains also, it happened that night, or happened that night when Davido also came into the building, and Davido and Wizkid were actually singing together, hugging, you know, singing each other's songs, dancing, and we all thought, oh, finally, there's love in the Afrobeat universe. Fast forward to like a week ago. Wizkid,
Week ago.
yeah, Wizkid Ayotunde Ibrahim Balogun decided to say fuck it, and let's all guns be blazing. He put up, he was shooting strays. He put up a certain video of Davido when Davido was not in his finest hour. Then the one that really caught my eye was when somebody said, "Oh, what do you think about Ladipo said?" A day before, Ladipo had insinuated or tweeted that it's now funny to see Afrobeat artists going through that phase. When it was earlier said that hip hop is dead, now they're looking at, Afrobeat artists are in the same position because, this year, Afrobeats are not beginning us to us hot like we normally had before or normally experienced years before. And, Wizkid, the cult leader of Wizkid FC said, I'm not talking to anybody signed to an influencer, and obviously was referring to Don Baba J. A few hours later, Don Baba J unfollowed Wizkid on Instagram, and it led to a whole big discussion about what Wizkid did, was it right or wrong? Some were saying that he didn't like Don Jazzy is an influencer. The very very big influencer, Mr. Macaroni, came out in support of Don Jazzy and said, he's a selfless person. He uses his platform to lift others. And yeah, that conversation was going on, and it wasn't just a one-off. Whiskey slept and woke up and still continued in the spirit of violence. And then later on, Whiskey and Davido were, if anybody has watched Rocky 4, where Sylvester Stallone fought the Russian, and they said, fuck
Yeah.
it, no more tactics anymore. It's blow for blow now. And these guys were going pound for pound, and the mob were entertained. I signed out because I was like, bro, this is not moving the culture forward, And this is not the first time or the last time I suspect that we'll see this kind of episode in Davido and Whiskey's love hate affair. They've decided to have a love or hate affair close to a decade now, and over a decade actually. And to me, it's getting boring and tiring. But the people love it. The algorithm loves it. So the best to best to two of them.
Steve, do you have any comments here?
Yeah. I want to say that the beef between Whiskey and Davido means, like, for the court, like for me as a person, I have absolutely no business with it. Like, I don't care. You know, anything they want to do with themselves, let them carry on. Like, I'm entertained. So that's all.
Are you not entertained?
I am.
Yeah. Did you give the did you give the backstory, the Rama backstory as well? Yeah.
No, the one Rema was talking about. Oh, okay, okay. I don't think we did that episode. So, before Whiskey started tweeting, I think a week or a few days before, Rema came out to go on a stream of rants. And one thing he said that stood out to many people or in the culture was that there's no longer a big three, there's a big four, insinuating that he is now part of the Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido triad. He has forced himself into the big four right now. He also took shots at stylists who use his name to get clothes to style their own clients, Afrobeat artists. He said he was the one that made sure that EPs became a thing for new artists. They wanted to come out, and now everybody is basically a blueprint of him or a copy of him. And then, Mavins decided to jump on the trend and say, oh, who's expecting new music from Rema? And he decided, he basically shut the social media manager up and says he's not dropping any song, that he's too big to be using this as a flex to drop a new record. And he signed out. Peace.
Interesting. Interesting. I think what we're also seeing is, I mean, and it comes with time, right? There will be a further evolution of the music, and most
Yeah.
importantly, the characters in the music. That's always going to happen. Once upon a time, there were some guys who were at the top of the game, and
Yep.
then other people come and take over the game. And like you've always said, this thing at times is never nice and easy. At times it gets ugly.
Gets bloody. You have
I've
to
been
force
watching
your
the
way.
NBA, and the first round, right? You saw Timberwolves play the Phoenix Suns, and you saw the back and forth between Ants and
Okay.
KD.
Yeah.
And there was that video where Ant was, howling down, to KD, and KD was laughing and shaking his head. And it was a very good video because it was very healthy between them. And
Yeah.
you could tell that KD was recognizing that, okay, these
This
guys
is
are
the
coming to
guy.
take
This is
over.
the next guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 There's nothing I can do now. These guys will take
Nothing.
over.
Yeah.
And
I think
these
the
guys come with
trio of
their own agenda, they come with
yeah,
their own style, they come with their own fans. And the worst thing you can do at that very moment, and sports is different from music, because sports you have to compete,
yeah.
right? You just have to compete.
It's the nature of the business. It's
It's
competition.
different. Yeah. In music is a bit different because you can then shift the narrative in how you make it look. The first narrative you shift is by what? Collaborating. We've seen people like Hove do this. By 2010 or 2009, Hove had already spent what, 13 years in the game,
Yeah. You could see that
right?
yeah,
What did he do on the Blueprint 3? He put
collaborated.
three people on his album, and these guys went on to become the future of hip hop music. He
Yeah.
put J. Cole on the album, he put Drake on the album, he
Yeah.
put Cuddy on the album,
Yeah.
and they were all starting their
Yeah.
careers.
They're just about to fly
At this
over. Yeah.
time, yeah, at this time, none of them had dropped their debut albums. So that's the idea. I say you get to a point, you move from being a king to a kingmaker,
Yeah.
and that's how you start to show influence. So it's either you go that way or you go the crash out way.
Bado knew that, and Bado decided to be a kingmaker. Like, I'm done.
But
Thank you.
Bado became a kingmaker. Bado, see, there was a point. Bado saw the music and said everything. You know what? I've done it all.
Hmm.
I've done it all. And these new kids are coming. I'm going to give every new kid a platform. Adekunle go take. Cash, take. And even for the ones he didn't sign, it was his co-sign to Bella Shmurda that took that, Bella
Yeah.
Shmurda took it up from there. Vision
That's
2020. And,
that's mad cosigns.
you know, Bado could have looked at it and said, when I dropped Eniduro, where were you guys? You were all in primary school. Some of you were in primary school. Some of you were in secondary school. When I
Yeah.
dropped Eniduro. But no, you move from being a king to a kingmaker. Look at Fireboy today. Look at all these guys. So it's that thing. You have to look at it from that angle, as well, and take it off from there. Look at what Don Jazzy has done.
Multiple. Yeah, I've done it so many times. So many
I just say,
times.
so you know what? I want to post something on Afrobeats. Don Baba J. Oh yeah, let's share. Let's do a co-post. Why not? So it's important to understand your journey and start to like mentor people and start to like give people opportunities and platforms for them to, that's how I see it. And then the back and forth fight and everything, like Steve said, yawn.
Yeah.
And to those people who are
Sorry.
finding the flames and everything, I think the young kids, right, who are just experiencing this for the first time, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Exciting. But
But if
for
you
us,
were a member of a fan club 5 years ago and you're still here tweeting about it, I just want to say three words to you. And I mean this with all sincerity. Get a life. Get a life. Do something. Do something. Don't You can't be doing this on social media for 5 years straight. I understand this is not what they call consistency. So you're fanning the flames for what? For people who have gone on ahead to do amazing things for themselves. Like, do something. Do something. What are you doing? What are people talking about you doing? You know, it's like, oh, you remember when we were in uni, all those guys that the only thing they talked about was football.
yeah.
Yeah.
If they knew Man U by heart, they knew Arsenal, they knew who was injured. Henry don't carry injury in like 3 days. I read them. Do you understand? Like, that was the only thing they could. So I used to tell them, get a life, go play somewhere. I'm busy. It's the same thing. What are you doing for yourself? How are you impacting people around you? How are you inspiring people around you? I know you want to associate with a certain clan or group, and it's great. But like, what are you doing? Maybe I'm preaching too much. Let's move into more beef.
Yeah. Are we doing our
All
list
right.
first? Or we're doing the
Oh
mid
no,
order?
no, no, no. We're going to this beef. The
All
US
right,
hip hop
cool.
beef. Kendrick Lamar versus Drizzy Drake.
Yankee hip hop is
Kendrick.
alive, ladies and gentlemen. It is alive.
Before I go any further, there's something I put out as a tweet, and I strongly believe in it, right? I said, I understand giving young people a pass, but many older folks remember the Biggie Park rivalry and its tragic outcome. We all
Yeah.
cried when we heard the news both times. Hip hop beef can be entertaining, but fueling it significantly impacts how it's managed.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I know we're all getting excited, putting people are putting memes out. Like we're
Easy
also pushing
guys.
these guys. But let's do a quick backstory for
Now,
those who
I want to
aren't.
ask you a question.
Do you want me to do the backstory first?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you think the deaths of Tupac and Biggie contributed to the to popularity of hip hop?
Yes.
100%.
Because
Okay.
100%.
that's how I got involved in hip hop. I didn't know that shit until the both of them died. And I
Okay.
jumped in
100%.
and I never
Uh,
left. So yeah.
well,
No death of Biggie. Death. Sorry, death of Biggie. No death of Biggie. We don't get life after death.
yep, yep.
The way we got it, like it's going to be a dope album because he had done the photo shoot and everything, but it
Yeah.
doesn't carry
That weight.
That narrative.
that narrative because he had died. So we don't get No Way Out.
Yeah.
First of all, we don't get Every Step. I've been missing you. We don't get I've been missing you.
You don't get that bad boy run till like 99.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of things don't happen.
Yeah.
A lot of things don't happen.
And you don't get Jay Z.
Oh,
Jay Z might not have been Jay
oh,
Z. Yeah.
you understand? There are a lot of things that don't happen that well if those guys didn't pass away. Same thing with Pac. The mystery of Pac and the whole West Coast. We don't get all of that as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, Steve, you wanted to say something?
No. I just want to, I want to like really, think, confirm if you guys, thought the same way. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Def.
Yeah, most definitely. Um, so let's do a quick timeline for those who aren't well versed in the whole Drake versus Kendrick Lamar
Like
beef.
it's like Marvel Cinematic Universe now.
Yes, it is. So let's do a quick explainer. First things first.
I'll
Up, up.
papa.
Fix all
Fix
the
all the
honeys.
honeys.
Yeah,
Dummies.
but honeys. Yeah, no, honeys. Okay, first things first is Drake drops his album For All My Dogs. Guys, we're not attentive here. We're on our phones. What's
I'm
going on?
I'm on my power
No, no,
bank.
no.
I'm holding my power
I'm
bank.
not
I'm
even on
listening
my
to
phone.
you.
I'm not even on my
Steve, what's going on?
I'm
I'm
listening
not on
to
my
you.
phone. I'm not on my phone. I'm not on my
Two
phone.
hands in the air while I'm going to have this conversation. Two hands.
I'm not on
Yes.
my phone.
Are we at the
Stay like that.
Miley Cyrus concert? All right.
Yeah, he's on his phone. He's doing
I was
something else.
just
He's distracted.
no. I was just bowing down my head. I wasn't on my phone. I was,
Are you tired? Do you want to take a rest?
no.
He's
Yeah,
active. He's
we'll
young.
finish it. We'll finish it now. We'll
All
finish
right.
it. Uh,
Great. So Kendrick Lamar, Drake features J. Cole on First Person Shooter off Drake's 2023 album For All My Dogs, right? It's an electric hip hop collaboration between both of them. They go in, and specifically, there are some places where J. Cole shouts out Kendrick Lamar by saying he, Drizzy, and Kenny, Kung Fu Kenny, are the big three,
Yeah.
right? And all of that. And then, that goes and Future and Metro Boomin dropped their album, We Don't Trust You. Now, this album, multiple times they are subbing Drake, right? It's insinuated that Drake and Future have fallen out.
Yeah.
There's also some back and forth between Metro Boomin and Drake, right? Metro Boomin
Yeah.
had mentioned something about Drake. Drake has subbed him on like a live or whatever. So they
Hmm.
drop We Don't Trust You. It's a good album. And then specifically, there's a song called Like That
Yeah.
that features Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar goes in on Drake and J. Cole, but more importantly on Drake.
Drake.
All My Dogs Getting Buried, you know,
You have to also
Mother
mention. You also have to mention that for years there've been tension between Drake and Kendrick.
Yes,
Yeah.
there has been tension between Drake and Kendrick for years, many years, even though they've collaborated in their early years,
Early years. Yeah.
right? And then he says, Mother M, the big three, N word, it's just big me. Steve?
no. You talked about the collaboration. I think between the two early on. I think the only I don't know. The only I just feel this feels weird and corny that when you were coming up, Drake was already big. He took you on his first on one of your tours, on one of his tours. Kind of like really gave you a boost that you needed at the time, and suddenly when you became very big, you just started sneak dissing.
It happens.
Even
It's hip
after
hop.
you've come out to say that, oh, Drake was so instrumental in it's a part of my success and stuff like that. And that's the only like kind of like anti Kendrick thoughts I've had all through this beef, all through the subliminals.
Thank you very much, Steve. But that's the danger of a single story. It's also alleged that
True.
Drake has been he has been subbing
Oh, they have.
Kendrick and dissing him.
Can I add something? I don't think
Yeah,
both of them knew how big two of them would be. Where a Drake would be like, "I'm the biggest rapper," and people will say, "No, Kendrick is bigger," or Kendrick will say, "I'm dopest rapper," and people say, "No, Drake is." So I think they both got tired of that comparison. Like, who the fuck is this nigga that won't give me a clear shot to the throne? And they just started. It was very competitive between the two of them, and two of them are two of them are great artists, and they just had to go at it.
exactly. So first person, like that drops. It's a smash. It's a club record. The song goes viral. It's
Some anthems,
everywhere.
like
Like
some
this is
anthem.
open shots. Yeah, summer anthem. It's now open shots, right? Dot took open shots at Drake and J Cole. It's on. The beef is on. And there's only one thing you can do there is respond. So the
Was
first person to
beef.
respond was J. Cole, right? And
The
that's what I
Rasta,
call him. I call him J. Cole.
the
So J. Cole
Rasta.
goes on. He drops his mixtape, right? The
My
prelude
delete
to the
later.
fall off. My delete this later, and or my delete later. I'm sorry. And on the track there, he goes in on Kendrick, right? But it's considered soft by people in the hip hop circles and hip hop media.
Yeah,
And a few days later, he goes on stage at the Dreamville Dreamville Fest,
yeah.
right?
Do it
And,
first.
and apologizes, formally apologizes to Kendrick. In
Mm-hmm.
retrospect, such a wise decision.
Yeah, I want to say
You
that the person who has made the best decision so far in this business is J. Cole. We laughed at him initially, but Jermaine, I understand. Because I know that
yeah,
you can't go this deep that these guys are going in. It will hurt you. So you just like, please, I'm not going to be part of this.
yeah. So he formally apologizes and goes a step further by taking the song off the album and off the digital streaming platforms
Yeah.
and got on his bicycle and rode into the sunset.
And he has disappeared. Nobody has heard anything from my guy since.
So as that was going, right, Drake then drops a response to Kendrick Lamar's like that. It's called push ups.
Yeah.
And then he takes shots at Kendrick. He not only takes shots at Kendrick, takes shots at Kendrick, he takes shots at Rick Ross, he
Recross.
takes shots at Sap Rocky, a couple of other people,
Future.
but like Kendrick is full focus. And in true fashion, just like did with Meek Mill, before we know it, a few days later, he drops a second diss record called Taylor Made Freestyle, right?
Yeah.
And then he further baits Kendrick Lamar to come out and diss him, to come out to respond to the beef. Now, at this point, everybody's asking, is Kendrick going to do it? Kendrick going to do it? Kendrick always takes his time, etc., etc., etc. Right? But before we know it, Kendrick then drops his own diss record called Euphoria. And everybody's just like, oh my God, this is like it was out of this world. Kendrick does what Kendrick does best. Right. And, the multiple dissing, the double entendres, everything, right? He goes in on, what's his name? He goes in on Drake, right? And then everything kind of settles again, and everybody's waiting for Drake to respond. And before Drake can even respond, Kendrick drops another record, a timestamp record, called 616, I believe,
Yeah.
right? And drops 616. I mean, there's Billboard does a fantastic timeline curating this thing from when? From like 2013 or something, right? But anyways, after Kendrick drops Euphoria, he then drops 616 in LA. If anybody knows Drake and follows Drake, he's the timestamp god. He does
Yeah.
this timestamp
Yeah.
series,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
6 a.m. in Dallas, 6 p.m. in New York, 2 p.m. in Calabasas, etc., etc.
It's
Right?
famous for
So
it.
Drake
16.
is his thing. So Drake then adopts that format, says 616 in LA. 616 means a bunch of things. People have even deciphered it, right? With a very interesting cover art with a glove with the Maybach emblem on it, right?
Maybach logo.
And only drops it on Instagram. It's a short one, but he gives it to him, right? And the thing has what 2.4 million likes on Instagram.
Yeah.
So while as that is going crazy, Drake responds to him. immediately with not immediately. I think it took a few days, maybe a day or two,
I think it was a
and Drake
day
responds.
or two. Yeah, I think it
Day.
was a day or two. Yeah.
Drake now responds with the third diss track, "Family Matters," and as people were just listening to it, 30 minutes later,
Cold.
Kendrick returns with "Meet the Grahams,"
Midi Graham.
right?
Yeah.
Return.
And, and on Family Matters, Drake has like a bunch of
It's basically three
allegations going
records.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's three records embedded into
Yeah,
one. He also takes shots at The Weeknd. He takes more shots at Rocky, ASAP Rocky, The Weeknd, Metro Boomin,
yeah,
Future and
and
Rick Ross.
actually,
Even does at Kendrick. But my goodness gracious, Kendrick then drops 30 minutes later drops Meet the
the
Grahams,
Grahams.
which is a response to Family Matters. Now it's a play on this TV series.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you grew up in the US or in like Nigeria as well, you we all watch
The
Family Matters,
90s.
right?
Yeah.
In the 90s. And then Kendrick's Meet the Grahams is just painful. It's four verses. One addresses one addresses Drake, one addresses Drake's son,
Yeah.
one addresses Drake's 11-year-old alleged daughter, and one addresses his mother. I've never heard anything as skating as this.
It
The
was
closest thing I've heard to this is when Loaded Locks went on Calico in the famous history battle.
in case
It
you
was
don't know who Loaded Locks and Calico are, that's just rap battle. That's rap battle universe right now. Just Google it. Just
it's
stop right now. I'll go and search it on YouTube and enjoy your day.
Go and search Loaded Locks versus Calico.
Bro,
Loaded Locks trucks in the first verse, but
we're
when
gonna
he
get
comes
this
back,
work, nigga.
I think that is the most famous battle
Battle.
I've ever
Yeah.
watched in my
It's
life.
the most famous battle rap of all time.
Yeah. Kendrick takes it a notch.
He takes it higher.
This is this at some point this is not rap anymore. This was you berating somebody. This was
It's
like a
therapy.
therapeutic. This reminds me of what Charlemagne did with Andrew Schultz on an episode of Brilliant Idiots.
Oh, that
At
was
Cheap
About
cold.
sleep. About
Directory
That's what
yeah.
saved
and
Adisho's
ChatGPT of
life.
Andrew.
That's what,
Yes,
because Adishos would have gone total right wing extremist the way he was
yes, it was.
going. Yeah,
Yes,
but he brought
this
him
was
back.
a public beration or berating or whatever and humiliation. I've never heard anything like this in my life.
What's that thing they do
If
for?
you,
Sorry, what's that thing they do for addicts when they're about to take you to a rehab, where like all your
Mhm.
family members come? Intervention. It was an intervention.
Yes,
Yes, with your family members, with you now
you
sitting.
know, you know, and at this point, and we'll go into like where people fall. But at this point is when it now became public, like publicly, right? We started to see a lot of people support Kendrick Lamar. We started to
Yes.
see a lot of people come out in support of Kendrick Lamar to say,
Can I?
"Hey,
Can
this one's serious." Let me just finish. So
yeah, yeah.
as that dropped, it is scathing. People are calling it a 3-0 right now with all
Actually,
the things Kendrick has dropped. Yeah, everything is bad. People are still reeling over it. Less than 12 hours, about 12 hours ago, as of recording this, we're recording this on a Sunday and it's going to come out on Monday. Kendrick Lamar now dropped another record called Not Like
Not like
Us.
us.
For the first time,
with
he
a
now
nasty
jumps on
artwork.
it. Yes, the artwork is nasty, but he now jumps on a club type beat produced by DJ
Mustard.
Mustard,
This is
Mustard on
mustard,
the beat,
ho. Mustard on the bay, ho.
and jumps on it. And I'm telling you guys, it's a bop,
Crazy.
but
It's crazy.
That's a
he's
summer jam.
killing Drake.
That's a summer. If they do Hot
Crazy.
97, if they do Hot 97
Yeah,
summer jam this year, it might be greater than, it might be possibly greater than
the last,
Jay-Z Zone. It might be
it might be
possible.
great.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the last, yes, yes.
It
If
might be.
Kendrick does hot, it will be a
Yes.
madness.
If Kendrick
And
performs,
on this, yeah, and on this record, Kendrick does what Drake does, which is what Drake has been chasing. I'm going to make like a club type record or a
yeah,
part that everybody can jam to.
and
I'm not
humiliate
going to
you.
scare the host.
Yeah, like back to
Yes,
back.
yes, and he then does it on this record, and it's that Bay Area kind of beat.
Yeah,
And as I'm recording this, I've watched over 20 videos of people dancing, creep walking. People are taking the audio and layering I put one in the group, the pop culture group, of the Nollywood artists, Jamaica and Genevieve, and all of them dancing to it. Steve, have you seen it?
No,
it's
I'm not
good
saying it.
Jamaica is. It's good
I'm just.
Jamaica
I'm
is the
Go
trying.
go
record.
I'm trying to open it
go
now.
into the
Because
pop Niger group and click on
because
it.
Jamaica, you know how Jamaica is the rapper, was once a rapper.
Yeah.
So it's good Jamaica is
You understand what I've seen. So Drake has always used the internet and the culture of the internet, the meme culture, right, to own the
Yeah,
narrative.
Now
And
Kendrick is
Ken-
doing that thing. Yeah.
yes, he's
yeah.
doing the same damn thing. I think at this point, someone just says like Drake just needs to go on vacation
Oh, do like
Yeah.
Hove.
because
Just go to Paris. After Ita, just
yeah,
go to Paris. And
the gloves are off. It's a madness now.
now I know why
Personally, I
J.
don't
Cole.
see how Drake comes from. Yeah, now we know why J
Yeah.
Cole left.
Because I think J.
I
Cole
think when J
knows these
Cole
two
dropped that
guys.
record,
Mm,
so J Cole's camp, Dreamville and P Lang stroke TDE,
they
they're
are
all
close.
friends.
Yes.
Yes, I think once he dropped that thing, right, people just called him and said, "Dude,
I
this
think
thing
he
is not
knew.
really about you.
I think he must have
Let
heard
it
some.
go."
I think he must have heard some records. They must have leaked some shit. Like
Yeah,
I can't take it. Like I'm not. It's
yeah,
against my brand. Like
yeah.
it's against my.
Because Cam's
Yeah.
call, they
No,
call
Cam's call.
cause or somebody said,
Yeah, Cam's
"Bro,
call now.
Kendrick is on demon time. Oh. You
Can I
don't want it."
can I give my thoughts on this?
Hmm.
So
Well,
me
before yeah, go ahead. Then I'll respond to you. Go ahead.
okay, so me being an OVO avid fan all these years, it's very painful to see that my goat Aubrey
It's,
uh
it's
is
getting
being
trashed.
is getting trashed. But I'd rather take this trash from K Dot because everybody knows K Dot is not a very, very sane person. He is mad. So if you listen to K Dot doesn't rap in a
This is not the
clear.
first. This is not his first loss, though.
No, yeah,
Don't
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
No, but no, we botched that one of that shit. I beg, please. That nigga should
No,
be.
no,
He
no, no,
should collect his
don't
McDonald's.
brush it.
That
Don't,
nigga
no,
should
no,
be
no, no,
collect.
no.
That nigga should collect his McDonald's money. I beg. You should go and sit down.
Don't brush it off.
I
This is his
beg.
second loss, and I
Yeah.
think what has happened is that we've overrated Drake's war capabilities just because of a clown.
Oh
Mill has
yeah.
been. Mill
No,
was.
but
Mill
but
was a literal clown. That was
no,
the easiest person to deal with,
but
right?
everybody.
He
Me,
was the
I.
easiest. Like, look at
But,
McMill now. McMill behaves like I don't know. How, like, let me just choose. Like, I have to like choose my words and not be too
yeah.
mean on him.
Can I help you
And McMill
describe it?
is such an
He
easy target,
behaves
and I
like
think
he behaves like he's on the spectrum.
I'm telling you, and I think even me being I'm a Drake fan too, right?
McMill.
I'm a Drake fan. I'm a Kendrick fan. But I love J Cole more than both of them. Like J Cole, like gives me the
Yeah.
middle. J Cole is like the middle of Drake and Kendrick. Like
The
I'm
call
not.
is.
I don't want it to be too serious. I don't want it to be too poppy. So
I
just
don't
give
know
me
if you
Drake.
watched. Have you
That's
ever
what how
watched like? Sorry, have you watched like all those action movies where there's always that one assassin that's retired that doesn't just want to go
yeah,
back into the assassination
yeah,
mode. That please
yeah,
leave me alone in my house. I do not want to be an assassin anymore. Two of you can
yeah,
go shooting. I do not want it. The best that Jacob would do is okay. He'll give that lyrical performance, but once it starts time to start going in like cutting in, drawing in blood, like nah, I'm good. So yeah, Drake has
yeah,
taken an L on this one. That one is definite. Um,
yeah,
One thing I've seen in hip hop community in America is that and I've noticed this for like 2 or 3 years because I consume like hip hop podcasts and obviously listening, knowing like a lot of hip hop institutions. Hip hop institutions in America don't like Drake. In the last 3 or 4 years, they've never liked him. I read a book once about trap music coming out from Atlanta, and there was basically a chapter about the Migos. And because I'm a writer, the way the guy was writing about Drake, he was like, "Oh, Drake is the biggest artist." They will now put like a backhand diss there. And with Kendrick, we've obviously seen that, oh, they're fucking with Kendrick. Everybody's fucking with Kendrick because they are tired of Drake. Clearly. Whether it's the New York Times, whether it's Hot 97 and everything. I think the only constituency that has been with Drake so far, even though they switched last minute, were the streamers because he gave them the mouth, he gave them the platform, the acts, the Kai Senats and everything. They were really championing him. But shit has happened. Kendrick is just a beast at the end of the day. He's brutal. He takes it to a place where most people cannot dare take it to. This man won a Pulitzer Prize for kind of loud. That's like you saying Burna Boy winning Nobel Prize for literature. At the end of the day, he has taken it to a dimension that is cool. I think that the vacation that Drake said he wanted to take after this was the last one he dropped. What's the name of this last album he dropped? I think he should extend it well for like
Yeah,
a year and just cool off and just let everything simmer down. Because at this point, we don't know what my Drake might bring again. I mean, we don't know what Kendrick might bring. Kendrick might now go to his grandmother and grandfather or great grandparents at the end of the day. It should just let everything simmer down. One thing I like about this beef is that this is probably the most high profile beef in American rap that does not involve a strong element of violence.
Violence.
These
I think
guys
this is
don't
my
have
best. This is my
these guys
best
don't
beef.
have a rap, these guys don't have a criminal charge in between them. In short, among the big three, they have never had a criminal charge placed on them. So this is the most lyrical beef we're ever going to see in hip hop. Nas and Jay-Z was getting there until everybody cooler heads prevailed. If you notice, the likes of Al Sharpton and the rest have not come in to say, let there be peace. Because they know these guys are not going to carry guns. Nobody's carrying any gun. But with Nas and Jay-Z, Biggie and Tupac was a war. Was a war. It was Al Farrakhan that they actually had to call a peace meeting between the East Coast and West Coast rappers in his house. They all flew there, and he said no more gun tension and everything. So I think right now, and I think this is what hip hop in America actually needed. They needed that fire, that jumpstart shit, and it's hot right now. Yeah, it's just a shame that we're not seeing young rappers coming into the fold. It's still the same three we are talking about it today. You know, yeah, man. Big ups to everybody who has won. The streamers, the podcasters, the writers. I know the guys in New York Times are writing over time now just to beat their deadlines. But yeah, it's all good.
Talking about streamers, I think I want to mention streamers and podcasters. I think academics
Yeah,
has he has gone into another realm, another level. Like he's like right now he's not like he's at the top. Like he's the top dog right
academics
now. Like
academics is interviewing politicians now.
Drake used his his ad lib on stream.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's getting a plaque
Kendrick
for that.
mentioned him, so he's on another level. I think the what's the name of these guys? Joe Biden's former partners. I think with this beef, they started like to get more clout because they have some information.
Yeah,
It's
Rory
quickly.
is a Mall is an
Rory is
OVO guy.
an OVO guy, so he has been like
Yeah,
the tailor made this. He talked about
experience
it
coming. Yeah, yeah.
the
He
episode
text
before.
Drake, so
He said
yeah.
he said there's a beef. There's a this record that's been tailor made that is coming up in the coming days. So he has had
Did
that
you see Kai
clout coming.
Senat's Kai Senat's screenshot that Elliot Wilson took?
No,
So
what did you say?
Kai Senat was waving his Instagram DMs, and Elliot Wilson did like a screenshot, and it was a message from Drake. It was very blurry, but you know that purple emoji, that purple devil emoji that is smiling.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was basically what I couldn't see the other part, but that was it. And shout out to Elliot
when
Wilson too. Elliot
recently
Wilson, this
the
was
Kai Cenat
before,
message was it recent?
this was after Meet the Grahams, not before this one, not after this
Oh,
one, but
okay.
Meet the Grahams.
So
And
that
shout out to
means
Elliot Wilson too. Elliot Wilson
suggests
too
that
has addicted, has
it suggests
been
it suggests that Drake is coming again.
yeah, but at this point, I don't think there is any firepower that you can bring again to this. Honestly,
Because the thing is, I wish that after before we finish recording this podcast, that Kendrick has not released another one. We have to like be
bro,
checking so that we
I
keep
have
up
a
to
feeling
date.
that Kendrick has like at least 4 DCs for every rapper in the world, like
Eh,
on his level, like anybody who wants it. And I think they played J. Cole's diss for him. I think they told J. Cole, this is what this guy's rapped about, said about you. And he just like, you know what? You know
I, th-
what?
I think J Cole winning will be like a win for hip hop in the sense that we've always known that J Cole is a more. We've always thought that J Cole is a more lyrical and to an extent a better rapper. While
Yeah, but
Drake
you know,
is more like a better song maker, record
yeah.
hits, stuff like that. So Kendrick winning this, I think it fits the narrative to me personally. I won't be shocked by it, right?
Do you think,
I won't be shocked by Drake winning either, right? I think what would have shocked me is the level of lead that a particular person is taking, which is what is happening now. So I expect Drake to come at least
yeah,
close the
yeah,
gap
the
a
lead,
little.
yeah, the lead is
Yeah,
mad though. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with that one. Yeah. Also, I want to
But
just like question, do you think, even though I probably know the question, do you think this is like the end of Drake, like music wise? That like great Jaru, like when 50K for Jaru, it was lights out. You know, it was like okay, Jaru still struggle with we go on back and the other ones. But do you think like this is the end of Drake as the top dog in hip hop?
so I'll answer your question by giving a broader context on what is happening,
Yes, sir.
right?
Break it.
So on the surface level, right, you see like Kendrick and Drake going back at each other.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a fight between like two top guys, and then there's always a bigger context.
Oh
And the
yes, there
bigger
is.
context here is real art versus commercialism. That is what's going on here. And that's why you see the people who have been dropping commentary or pseudo supporting Kendrick are very different from the people
Oh
who
yeah.
are supporting Drake.
Yeah, yeah.
So young Guru, right? Guru, you see Guru, you see Night Wonder, you see the older guys, the veterans, they're all
Yeah.
supporting Kendrick.
The core demographic of hip
And
hop, like fuck with Kendrick more.
yeah, and the younger people, right, who aren't that immersed in what hip hop is, especially as music and culture, they tilt towards Drake's side.
Yeah.
And
I
I've
think
seen
he
this from
has
even my own Twitter feed. I've seen
yeah,
this from my Twitter feed.
I think he has a
I've
younger
seen,
demographic.
and I'm going to count Ayo out, even though Ayo, because Ayo, so they fall into three categories of people, right? The first category of people that are supporting Drake are people who don't understand like hip hop, what hip hop truly means, and
Yeah.
they are like surface consumers, right? They are the second set of people are the people that say we need to push this commercial agenda, and
Which
because
is a
Kendrick
very
does it the hard route. Sorry, Kendrick does this the hard route to get to success.
yeah.
Drake doesn't, right? Then there are people like Ayo that know the truth, but they're just fucking around with people.
No, so basically this is what I've always said about the three
But
of
like
them.
if we, Ayo, if we go into like a deep discussion now, you end up being on Kendrick's side
So let me
because naturally you know
let
the
me break it
truth.
down. Let me break it down. Right?
Yeah,
I fuck with all three of them. They're all my guys. If Kendrick drops an album today, I'm listening to it. I listen to Mr. Morales and this thing over and over and over again. I just admire the way Drake is very shapeless in the way he deals with music. I respect that. I love J. Cole because J. Cole is your modern day Nas. He doesn't just give a fuck. He will rap what he wants to rap. Kendrick is the guy that will take jazz, funk, rap, gangster hip hop, and just take it to another level we've never seen before. I have always respected the three of them. So even when I'm trolling on Twitter, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck this person, fuck that person. I actually fuck with all three of them. I actually fuck with all three of them. You know me.
I
I,
know, I
I don't
know.
have time for bullshit rappers. I can never put a young talk. I can never if you tell me to discuss about a young talk now or a playboy Carti, I'm out of the room. I cannot just deal with that
Yeah,
bullshit. I know all three of them's pen game. Drake is a lyricist, but he chooses to be pop and commercial, maybe because he can sing. Definitely. Kendrick is more
I
of
will also.
Kendrick is more of your Pac, modern day version of Pac, or your updated version of what Pac would be. If Pac came in the 2010s, this is what Pac would be, and Nas is Jaco is more of what Nas would be in this era. But all three, I fuck with them.
Thank you. I see Drake as, and I mean, I listened to Drake music, but let's call a spade a spade. Drake is a cultural appropriator, and at some point, is also a
Let's stop.
culture vulture.
Let's stop all that.
No,
We are grown ass
I'll
men
give
in
it.
this, in
Let
this
me.
thing.
No, 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 no. I'll say how I see it.
Okay, see,
No
say
matter how, and he's done it. He's done it very well. In my opinion, he's
you
done
know
it very
you do
well.
know a cultural
But
appropriate sorry who doesn't give recognition and a platform to
it's not
whatever.
recognition. It's not. It's not. It's the rise to the top because the originality he's looking at. That is what Kendrick is trying to say. That you are an appropriator. You are not black culture, and you are not that hip hop culture
Sorry,
that you
no,
want to claim
I
to
don't
be.
claim. I don't understand this whole black culture
And
thing because sorry, because
sorry, yeah,
K Dot is also married to somebody that looks like a Drake. So you should not go for that black messiah stuff. If he wants to go
I
on
know,
that Dr. Umar, if he
but
wants to go on that Dr. Umar
yeah,
route, then we all know where Dr. Umar stands on all that P.
it's not even the Dr. Umar route. It
Yeah.
is more around today. You claim to be a hip hop artist, right? But you stole Fonte's flow, right? Let's keep it a buck.
From whose
If you
flow?
listen to Comeback Season, it's Fonte.
Oh yeah. Fonte, yeah. But he was with them
You
now. He
sounded like
wasn't with them.
no, he wasn't. You
He was
sounded like
never with them.
Fonte one part of your career. He wasn't. At some part of your career, you sounded like Joe Budden. Let's keep it a buck. He did. If
Thank
you
God he
listen to
left.
his early
Thank God he
stuff,
left. Thank God he left that era fast.
you know, and then you then go to Jamaica, appropriate the culture there, right?
But sorry,
And
how
look,
is that
who's the other?
appropriating?
Oh,
Sorry, how is that
popcorn is the
appropriate?
hottest. So blah 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 blah. Oh,
No,
when I'm
before
done
then,
there, I go to the
before then,
UK and I
wait,
start speaking like man
Osage,
them,
Osage, before
right?
he
Then
got
I
to
leave there. Hold on now, hold on. Then I leave
okay,
there. Then I go and do Afro beats, and I go and sound like my Afrobeats brothers as well. Like my guy, face front
Wait,
and be a true
but
artist and the true cost of
you
what
do
you're
know
doing.
that
And what
the
Kendrick is
dance.
trying to tell him is that you have been lying to yourself as a person because all you do is not genuine and
So
authentic,
this is
but
the
it's just a
problem.
cultural appropriation, and the machine supports you. Take
But
it like that.
sorry,
That's how I see it.
the machine is talking about. This guy was signed to one of the biggest machines in hip hop too. Happy knows. Because
But you did it the right way
when
with the right kind of music.
because
Do
when
you think it
what
is
is the
easy
right
to
kind of
make the kind of music
what is the right
Kendrick
kind
Lamar
of
is saying?
what is the
Kendrick
right
Lamar
kind of
is
music?
trying to simple say, someone broke that thing down, and I hope I find that tweet. Kendrick Lamar, someone was trying to say, "Oh, so easy for Kendrick Lamar to say this when someone, but he himself is not looking inward." And someone did a breakdown that the whole concept of what's the name of that album?
Mr.
The
Nolan
one that the
Steppers.
no, before Mr. Mr. Ram Steppers focuses fully on him and calls him a hypocrite. But the first time he
Black
called himself was
Butterfly.
hypocrite was
To Pray for
the
Butterfly.
blacker the berry.
Yeah, to Pray
Yes,
for Butterfly. Yeah,
the
that
blacker
song.
the
Yeah.
berry. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was talking about himself. He's a hypocrite.
Yeah, I
Called
agree with
himself
that
a
one.
hypocrite, and he looked inwardly. And what he's trying to do right now to Drake is put the mirror on Drake and say, "Look
See,
inwardly to yourself. You're a facade."
first of all, you mentioned the
Take
Jamaica
away
thing.
from all his commercial, like I just want to say, take away from like all Drake's. We can't take away from all Drake's commercial appeal, like, and what he's done and all that. I'm not taking away from all of that, but you are built by a machine, and if you
I
strip
don't
it down to
understand
the
this
bare
machine. I
bones,
don't understand this machine because
you are if you
came
strip
out,
it down to the bare bones, you are a facade of a human being.
this is why I don't like getting hip hop conversations because we're
And
not going to that whole
yes,
keeping it real thing. First of all, the Jamaica thing he went for. First of all, there is a huge culture of dancehall and Jamaica in Canada. Secondly,
true.
before he even started touching Popcan, this guy was rolling with the likes of Movado. These are the OGs, the generational OGs, his own generational OGs of dancehall. So he didn't just go to Kingston and say, please give me your hottest records. He knows these people. These are people that fuck with him. Look at the video he did for I'll Never Find Your Loving. Look
Yes.
at the OGs that were
It's
there.
all
Those
it's
people
all appropriation.
is
He
not
came to Afrobeats and
appropriation.
he got the
It's
hottest
not,
guys. He said
it's not,
Wizkid come, he said
bro,
Times come, and
sorry.
then I'll go to UK,
Osage.
I'll go and hang out with Skepta and go and hang out with
So
Gigs and
Osage,
appropriate all of that
okay.
and rap in their tone. I'm a rapper from Canada, right? But I'll rap in their tone and do man them combination,
Osage, I want to
even
ask
though
a
that is
question.
not me.
I want
Do you
to ask a
understand? Has
question.
Skepta ever come to the US and try to rap like an American?
That's
He's
Skepta's
a
business.
cultural appropriator,
That's Skepta's
right?
business.
And it's
It's my own
fine to
business.
call him a proper appropriator
Now
who
forget that
has
one.
used the
No,
appropriation to
I
get
think
commercial,
I think Kendrick does
commercial
that.
whatever.
I think Kendrick does that self-righteous thing a little bit too much. We know that you're Black Jesus and whatever. I do not understand when people say, "Oh, we need to collaborate to make other genres good," and when people now do it, they now say he's a cultural appropriator. Meanwhile, Black artists who they say they are victims also do it clearly. But nobody talks. But understand, everybody hates Jake because he gets the platinum hit records, and everybody says it's fine, it's cool. At the end of the
Kendrick
day,
gets the platinum hit records too. So
yeah.
that's the thing that is now different. For every time it has always been like a smaller artist, it has always been like Joe Budden. He's lost, this is the third beef he's losing, by the way. He
See,
lost the beef to Drake. Sorry, he lost the beef to Pusha. He lost the beef to Joe Budden,
nobody
and
knows
he's
your
losing
body.
this
Please,
beef.
this we're talking about bigger.
Don't do that. Don't
We're
say
talking about
you
bigger
see
boys.
this thing.
We're talking about bigger boys.
No.
We're talking about bigger
Ayo,
boys.
ayo, this no. You see this thing you want to do. This is what people were doing, and back then we used to say it was BS. You can't do it to Joe Budden.
I
There's
will
no
not do
hip
Joe
hop
Budden because
without
I don't know.
no. My guy, no. There's no hip hop without Joe
Okay,
Budden.
fine.
This thing that you want to do,
All I'm
he can't
saying,
do it. Even the guy that no, hold on. Even the guy you are supporting sounded like Joe Budden. There is footage of him saying, "I look up to you." When I was coming up as an
that was
artist,
facts
you were
before they
like my
fought.
standard.
Yeah, that was facts before they
So this
fought.
thing that no, so you can't say Joe Budden is irrelevant because the person you are supporting said, "I once look up to you. I wanted to be
Okay,
like you."
he's in 2%
So
of
don't
Drake's story,
disregard,
but
don't do this thing where somebody does not hit the commercial, and that's why you are finding it hard to argue with me because Kendrick has hit the same commercial
I'm not,
lining that Drake
bro.
has done.
I'm not
So
arguing with
anytime I
you.
bring someone like Joe Budden or somebody that didn't hit
No,
that
no, no, no,
level,
no,
don't
no.
disregard the person
I don't have,
because the person didn't hit that level and you're then trying to make the
bro,
person look irrelevant. It's
bro,
wrong.
bro. I
The
know what
impact Joe Budden has in the culture.
is
If you
great.
take
We know,
Joe Budden create mood music. He's
we
the one that
understand.
started.
Fine,
There's no Drake without Joe Budden.
we understand.
There's no
Fine,
Drake without Joe Budden.
fine. Let's go back to the conversation of the cultural
Yeah.
appropriation thing. How has he
Yes.
stolen? Did he come and steal sounds and did not give people their credit? Do not put them on the same stage as him. Do not put platforms. Are you saying, no, let us say this far. Are you saying in 2024, A rapper in America should only sound like himself and not embrace other genres of music. That is what I want hip hop to just
No,
say now. Fine. Okay.
no,
So okay.
I'm not saying that.
So
That's not what I'm saying.
so who did
I
he
will
steal
read
from?
you.
Did he
I will
steal
read
from
the.
did he steal from Wizkid? Did he steal from Popcan? Did he steal from Gigs? Skepta?
I'll read you
Did he
the
steal from
third.
T6 Mafia? Project Part? Come on now. Let's be real.
I'll read you. I'll read you the fourth verse from Not Like Us, which is a bop. He said, once upon a time, all of us were, this is Kendrick Lamar, once upon a time, all of us were in chains. Homies still doubled down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was the mecca, building railroads and trains. Bear with me a second, let me put you all on game. The settlers was using town folk to make him richer. Fast forward 2024, you still have the same agenda. You run to Atlanta when you need a check balance. Let me break it down for you. This is the real nigga challenge. You called Future when you didn't see the club. Lil Baby helped you get your lingo up. 21 gave you a false street cred. Thug made you feel like you were slime in your head. Quavo said you can be from the north side. Two Chainz said you were good, but he lied. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. No, you are not a colleague. You are an effing colonizer. The family and the truth of the matter, it was all God's plan to show that you are a liar.
All this is
That's all I have
just
to say.
wonderful use of words.
That's
That's
all
all.
I have to say.
That's wonderful. All these
That's
artists you
all I
men-
have to say.
all these
It's
artists you
not
mentioned,
wonderful words.
all these artists you
He
mentioned,
went into that space.
all
Yes,
these
yeah.
artists Kendrick mentioned went cap in hand begging for the six God to give them
No.
a verse. Oh, okay.
You
All
you
right.
think they went to Drake or Drake went to meet them?
All right.
You're talking about Atlanta that they don't send anybody.
All
ATL
right.
that is ATL.
All right.
You know
It's
the
fine.
story and history of ATL.
It's
They stay
fine. It's
within
fine.
themselves now. He's a cultural appropriator and he has been called out by
Good for
somebody
them.
that can match him lyrically and that can match him commercially. And then he's
All
fretting.
I have
For
to
the
say
first time, he's
that
sweating. Every other
Kendrick
time, he has always dissed
Kendrick
Pusha T.
paints
What does he
himself
do to Pusha
as a
T?
black
You're not
Jesus.
on my level. You don't have my money. You're not on my level. Then I'll win the Grammys over you. This
Kendrick
guy's won more
always
Grammys than you.
Kendrick always congratulations. So Grammy is now the
No,
coefficient
I'm
of a
just
great
saying.
rapper.
I'm just saying
No,
that the argument has always been, I'm bigger than you in this and this and this. But for the first time, he's not bigger than anybody. And then they are flogging him. You can't be a goat and lose three battles. You can't. And the only person you won is somebody that might be on the spectrum.
all I have to say is that Kendrick always puts himself as the black messiah, but it's fine.
Yes, and they've all crowned him the Black Messiah, from
So
Snoop to
sorry,
Dre to
see,
everybody.
since you've entered that now, a black guy from Compton cosplaying as a Jewish guy
Yes,
is not cultural appropriation. It's just him doing
that's
art
it.
first. No, Osagie, no, same energy, please. I'll admit this one. If I admit it, if I
Ayo, you
admit
want
it,
to enter this side? You want
yes,
to enter this
I
side?
want to enter this side because they don't know in Israel. They don't know in Jerusalem. They're not,
No,
they're not popping guns in
Ayo is
Gaza.
throwing anything. Ayo,
You're
you're
not
throwing
popping
anything
guns.
at the
You're
wall
not
now.
popping guns in Gaza.
But
You are not popping guns in Gaza, my guy. So please,
Ayo, you're throwing anything on the wall
no, no,
now.
no, 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 now. Come on. The guy literally has a picture of him with the crown of thorns on his head. Come on now.
You know that is all some esoteric meaning
Oh,
to
he said
tell
he's Jewish.
stories.
He has
That's
also
quite
said he's
different.
Jewish. He also said he's Jewish.
Oh, he said so.
He said so, my guy. That's how much I listen to Mr. Moral and the clappers and the dappers. So let's take that. If he's jacking Jamaica, he's jacking Jewish culture too. Because last time I checked,
All
they
right,
don't know him in Jerusalem. It's fine. We can end it. Steve, shout
let's
out to you.
let's go into some fan mail. Steve, can we do some fan mail before we go? You're on mute, Steve.
Yeah, I'm mute too.
You're on mute now. Yeah.
So, Osagi, I wanted to add before we leave, before we move to another segment, that
Yes.
you can't knock a man, you can't knock an artist for being
Yes.
highly internationally, for being internationally, how do I put it, for having an international palette, an international ear for sound, and international exposure. Let me tell you, it's also part of him not being fully American, and it's not a shade because Americans can be in a bubble. They can be unto themselves. But Drake being a Canadian, someone who was raised outside of the American, bubble, has access to international, like, figures, storylines, narrative, sound, music. And as someone as talented as him, he he adopted sounds. It's not adopting sound is not cultural appropriation. He's talented enough to do that and to become hugely successful. It's part of why he's the most commercially successful rapper in the history of the game. So I don't think you can use that to knock him. And this is someone also that has showed huge and top level lyrical abilities. So you can't even come and shit on him as a rapper,
which
right?
has now which now continues to hang on his head because it is constantly said that he doesn't write his own all of his own lyrics. The Quincy Miller thing, we found out that he didn't write his own lyrics. You're in hip hop and you're not writing your own lyrics. It means that what you're writing is not you. Let's keep it a buck. I'm not everything that
Yeah,
I've said now is
it's,
is on the internet. I'm
it's
not
good.
guessing anything.
It's good. But
Do you know now that there
this
are
is also
rumors that
someone
Daylight wrote back? Hold on. Do you know that there are rumors that Daylight wrote back to back?
who
It's there. Daylight.
it's just a rumor.
It's rumor. It's
It's
rumor
not a
now. Is it
no.
It's
rumor?
just a rumor.
He says it's rumor.
So
It
so
is
so
now being
Kendrick
alleged.
Lamar beating his wife. Kendrick Lamar beating his wife. It's not a rumor too. It's alleged too now. Let's word it
It
like
is
that
now
now.
being alleged that Daylight wrote back to back.
That's a rumor.
It is
And
not being
Osage,
alleged Kendrick is beating his wife.
no one can question Drake's pen
If
because this
you
is someone who has.
have on your head,
Okay, wait. No
my
one can.
brother, if you have it on your head that people are writing your lyrics,
Mm.
this is where the game has changed, and I recognize that the game has changed. The first time I knew the game had changed was when he was exposed for not writing his lyrics, and everybody moved on from it. And I remember telling people then, hip hop has changed.
What? Wait, sorry,
It
Osage.
is a cardinal. It is a cardinal sin. It is a
Wasn't it
cardinal
alleged?
sin.
Wasn't it alleged that Nas did not write one of his albums too? Uh-huh. It was a
Who now
journalist
wrote
that
it?
came out. It was a journalist who came out to say it. A respected journalist that came out to say it.
The Criminal
Nas
reference
wrote him.
records wasn't
Nas wrote
Criminal just
Illmatic.
wasn't
Do you understand?
Ayo wasn't
But
Let's
Drake
just
wrote
put
the
the
other
record
ones
just
too.
aside.
rapping the
Drake
hook
wrote
of
the
the
other
song.
ones too now.
Nas wrote Illmatic.
And Drake also wrote his other ones too now.
Ayo,
Yeah.
the Criminal reference record wasn't he just singing the hook?
No. There are some
Quincy.
lines he took from Quentin Miller.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, I know that
person
one.
here
That
said
one.
that they write in music. Anyways, I don't want to go into all of that because there's nothing I can prove without any beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah,
Right?
check it.
Jay-Z.
Check the message section, please.
Yeah, yeah.
We can
So
hear you
should we
now.
quickly do? Can we just wrap up fan mail and get it moving? And
All
we
right,
can come back next week with our 10 great beef songs or diss songs. Um, top 10 great diss songs. And it doesn't have to do with hip hop. It can be anything.
let's do it.
All right
How
now.
many minutes have we
We
done?
do it next week. Top 10. Should we do 12? Let's do 12.
Okay.
All right. So top 12 diss songs, Nigerian version. All right. Let's get into fan mail. I like how this is starting. The headline is Hatred for Baka. Well, I mean, he says rejoinder, hatred for Baka. Hello, guys. Great to always listen to you on the pod. I have been a regular listener. I will begin with a friendly rant. I listened to the Naira Abuse episode when you guys unambiguously expressed your hatred for Baka, that is Barcelona Football Club. I fail to understand why you lot harbor hatred for a club with rich values and the values that many football clubs dream of but do not have. It is very simple why I do not like Barcelona FC. They beat Manchester United in two Champions League finals, and since then I cannot get over it.
Osage, the guy said rich values. Is it the one that's making EFCC chase you people up and down? You people are your malicious financial fair play rubbish that you people are doing.
And allegedly bribing referees.
We don't look.
Yes, now
Anyways, he says you bandwagon sore losers, English club fan, English football club fan, no problem, it's fine. At least you didn't win the league and you dropped out of Champions League. Now you're going
Tutu.
trophyless this season.
Trophy less.
Anyways, he says I was at the stadium for the Barca PSG match, with PSG won, by the way. Shout out to Dembele. And I can assure you that Barcelona had the match in their hands until Araujo's red card. The referee couldn't save you. It was Champions League, not La Liga.
Referee didn't see the invoice, right?
Uh, Barca had to play with 10 men for the remaining 60 minutes plus the game, 60 minutes plus of the game, and there was no way they could defeat PSG with 10 men. Another rejoinder on greatest female Nigerian singers. You guys made a list of 10 greatest female Nigerian singers on one of your previous episodes. I was disappointed as none of you mentioned Yemi Alade. Yemi does not make my list. I don't know about you guys.
I
She
don't
doesn't make my
know.
list.
So, my guy,
Uh-huh.
you that are listening, you can send us another mail and tell us why. You know, give us a
Yeah.
correct
He
reason.
says this lady is an enigma of his songstress, and that none of you did not mention her was surprising. It's fine. For being featured on Beyonce's album, Bankuli was on Beyonce's album, and being celebrated widely in East Africa and beyond, I think she has also made a mark. I agree. I agree and I acknowledge all the things you said, but my list is my opinion. Yemina Ale does not make my list. Thank you. It says, I also like to mention that I have not heard Sonny Neji and his impact on Nigerian music being discussed on the pod. I would like to hear your valid thoughts on him. We can save that for next week. Lead researcher, please, can you note that down?
Sonny Neji, right? Oh, that's nice.
Yes,
That's
Sonny
nice.
Neji.
That's nice.
Yeah. This is from Yemi. Yemi is a lady. She says, "Hey Giants, I'm currently binging the podcast to catch up because I only realized it was back a month ago. Ah, that's 1 year's
Ah,
worth of content.
What?
Now,
what
now
is
you they
that?
enjoy you.
Ah,
Now you they enjoy
happy New
you.
Year, man. Happy
Shout
New
out.
Year, man.
Yeah, it says shout out to my ex who introduced me to the pod and told me about the comeback. Must be true love. See, Yemi, you need to go wife him up.
They say
If
na
someone can
X.
put you on loose talk,
They say na X, so
that's what I'm saying.
you don't know that
If
red
your
flag.
ex tells
Yeah,
you about loose talk and says loose talk is back, go and marry that person.
yeah, me, please tell us
Like
why
take
you
it
broke
from
up.
me. You just take it from me.
Marry that person.
Marry the person like that.
Even if your parents refuse to support you,
Even if your parents have letterhead and
marry
put out the
exactly. Even
news.
if your family sends out a letter from marry
We'll
that
do
person.
rejoinder. We'll do rejoinder on your behalf. Don't worry.
Yes. And we will attend the wedding no matter where it is. You will fly us out, sha, like baddies, three baddies. I'm ready to be flown out. Anyways, it
Please
says,
out.
anyway, in a past episode, Osags played a song by Pasuma, and I was immediately thrown into a Kekana Pep in Bariga from a double decker bus in London. I also caught an imaginary whiff of that roadside gutter smell. LOL. It's amazing how music has that power. Napoli in Lagos. That's the record I played. Um, I also have a theory that everyone with rationale when Michael Jackson died vividly remembers what they were doing when they heard the news, and I'm
Yeah.
yet to be proven wrong.
Oh
It's
yeah.
also amazing how he had that power through music. Yeah, I remember when MJ died, but more importantly, I remember when Abacha died.
Yes, that's more key for us.
Yeah. Anyways, keep it up and enjoy your life. Side note, I'm watching AOT2's YouTube videos and how he walks away from the frame and the video starts shaking because he's picking up his phone to stop recording cracks me up. Aye, what are you going to do about that? You
When?
got to have
Which
a.
one? First of all, I'm not on YouTube, so I don't know when you said that.
Boys, maybe someone put your videos on YouTube and you don't know. It means you need to open a YouTube. Do you have those videos on YouTube Shorts?
I have like two,
No,
but so it can't be on YouTube Shorts because YouTube has this 90-second rule. But I'm going to put them on YouTube anyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Please put them on YouTube.
put them on
Before
yeah.
YouTube.
someone else
On
puts it. Yeah,
Facebook
put them on
also.
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yes, Facebook. I saw a clip of Nas Boy on someone's podcast, on Tolani Badge podcast, where he said
yeah,
someone
yeah.
made $33,000
$1,000. Yeah,
On
I
on
saw that.
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guys, I told you about Facebook. Facebook is an entirely different world on its own.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
world though,
They are,
different ecosystem,
bro, they are
different
content
universe
creators that you don't find on Instagram and Twitter that are on Facebook.
that are big there.
You know, it's another thing. Shout out to you, Yemi. And this is from our main man from Canada. Anonymous, Canada Anonymous. Let me call you that. Good day, guys. And this is one of our biggest supporters, by the way,
Shout out to
in
you.
terms of like donations and everything. So shout out to Mr. Anonymous from Canada. You guys had an amazing show last week. Forgive me, guys, but I have to respond to AOT too. Ayo, what
What
have you done?
what did I do?
Ayo said there's a fallacy that they should have I said there is a fallacy that they should have allowed Mourinho to clear out the team and then went ahead to prove
Oh
Mourinho's
God.
point.
Oh God, have mercy. Oh
In
yeah, I
your
agree.
words,
Moreno fans, I
in your
agree.
in your words, you continued. How many players in this current Man United team played under Mourinho? Exactly. So they actually cleared out the players as Mourinho suggested, even though you still have Rashford, Marshall, Shaw. I hate to butt heads with you because you are one of my favorite podcasters. But bro, here are the facts. No matter how low Mourinho goes, Saudi or Madagascar, he has nothing to prove in club football. He's won everything other coaches dream to win. Two, he's Man United's best coach post Fergie. If you disagree, please show receipts. Three, after being second in the 2017-2018 EPL season, he asked Man United for 5 players to strengthen the team, but they gave him Lee Grant, Fred, and Dalot. Four, he he may not have been your favorite person to manage United, but his prescriptions were spot on. For all the children you call players, if you had 10% of Bruno Fernandes' drive to play for the shirt, I would not need to write this email. You are talking about these kids crying if they get criticized. These are the same adults who are paid hundreds of thousands of pounds to kick a round leather object. Bro, these are excuses. What would they have done if they were in Vinicius Junior's shoes in 2019? We can't criticize them, but they are happy to collect their salaries. Do these players know how much a match ticket costs for the average fan? They are not fit to be Man United players. They are spoiled brats. I'm saying this and I'm not a United fan. Everything he said, I'm 100% on his angle in terms of the players. Ayo, you already know this. These guys are paid very well. I don't think they are living up to expectations.
I just have a small advice for him at the end of the day.
Yes.
You can follow Mourinho to Camel FC. It's fine. There's no wala. Follow him to Camel FC. Nigeria, we will soon look for a new coach after 2 years. He can come and coach the Super Eagles. That's all I have to say.
Anyways, it says, given the last interview, I want to believe in archiving. Um, I hope to support the project. Please, I would like to know if they intend to digitize the words of those old newspapers. The project looks ambitious, thankless, and sadly, it tends to be, but potentially impactful. I hope they succeed. Nigeria is not a serious nation. The naira to dollar went from 1,020 to 1,004 in 5 days, and the inflation rate is 33.2%. But there are pressing issues. But the more pressing issue for the media is how many schools Peter Obi started and finished during his tenure. SMH. Finally, what is your take on the mother who burnt her son's international? Oh, this story, Steve. This you missed this story. We have to discuss this story next week. The mother who burnt her son's international
I
passport
don't believe it.
and stopped him from playing football in Australia.
I thought I
Thank you
was the
for
only one.
keeping us sane so far.
You believe it, Ayo?
Have an amazing
No,
week.
I didn't believe it. No.
If they buy your
I had to,
passport, any other passport, if you get a passport, the visa is
no,
still
in
valid. They'll still put the visa there and move on.
that was I don't
Buying
think
a
that was
passport does not mean your visa is lost.
no. I don't think that was like I don't think like I don't think he knew there wasn't that sort of consequence. It was more of just taking the passport and burning it. I think that's what people like focused on.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you get what I mean? Not like, oh, and burn it, I'll just walk down and get another one. My
Okay.
brother, you know as it be. No be like foreign country. Then burn your passport. You know the stress and
It's true,
whatever you
sir.
need to go
And
to get
the
all those
cost,
things.
yeah, and the
And
cost.
I think he was living almost in a very short period of time as well.
Yeah, I think
So
so
like if
too.
you factor in all of that, that was the but let's discuss this next week. It's something I also want to touch on. This is the last email for today. Anonymous, please. Hey everyone, as a big fan of Loose Talk, I'm reaching out regarding AOT2's tweet. Hey, AOT2, you're on fire today. Oh. AOT2's tweet about Party Next Door album, which I see as an Afrobeat album. But let's get to the point. Have you noticed the trend of Nigerian artists and producers relocating to the US? Names like Shizzy, Kidominant, Simi, Adekunle Gold, and possibly Techno have signed deals with international labels and made the move. These artists weren't necessarily tied to major labels in Nigeria. For example, Shizzy and Kidominant were known for producing for Davido before the relocation. I wonder if these deals include relocation packages like work visas and accommodation to facilitate their work abroad. Simi and AG Baby are often in the Americas, potentially focusing on songwriting, which should explain Simi's lower outputs. It seems American labels are strategically investing in Afrobeat talent, much like Malaysia did with palm oil. Ayo, what are your thoughts?
Okay.
Yeah, I think the reason why they can why they choose to travel is because of networking and things are easier for them. So if you have like 4 writing camps in a year or so, or 4 writing camps in like 3 months, it doesn't make sense for you to be flying from Nigeria to America, Nigeria to France all that time. It's better you stay over there. And It is what it is. Business. You go where the business is. If you want to become one of the best football players in the world, you go to Europe now. You go to one of the top five leagues in Europe. It is what it is. I know we like to protect Afrobeats as our thing, but bro, Nigeria is not Nigerian. So you go to a place where you are welcomed.
Absolutely, very well said from our music and pop culture connoisseur,
Times.
Mr. AOT2. You're welcome. You're welcome. And to everybody who listens to this episode, we want to say a big thank you. I and I got into it with Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
It's normal. It's hip hop. It's
Um,
hip hop head shit. We do this. We used
yeah,
to
it's
do.
hip hop.
We
Let
do
me
how
let
many
me,
Tupac,
this
Biggie,
this
and some
yeah,
Jay-Z
this
beef.
is
Oh, God.
a this is just a slice of what usually happens when people discuss hip hop. Remember those days now? You stand out and we're just arguing for
Bro, in
hours.
secondary school, now it's Jay Z. Oh my lord, people
Yeah,
were going mad.
yeah. I was a Nas guy back then.
I was a Nas
A
guy
lot of
too.
people were Nas guys. Even
Yeah,
Pushati said it was Nas.
Jay Z was a Drake. Jay Z was a Drake then now. Until Baba just
Well,
said,
yeah,
"I
Jay Z
like."
was the Drake back then
Jay Z
now.
was
Commercial
a Drake.
Yeah,
records, Hard
So they
Knock
do
Life.
dance records, doing girl records. What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So
Funny
I
highlights.
didn't change. I stayed true. I stayed true to the cause. Well, that's
Okay, and then,
but later
and
on,
then at
everybody now
the,
became a Jay Z guy.
bro, at the end of the day, when Baba carry Beyonce, carry Def
Every,
Jam Chairman, that's we'll see you later.
Mhm.
everybody ended up like, and I think even for Hove, right? He also like musically and culturally, he
He
also
changed. He
grew.
changed. Yeah,
Yeah, he grew. He grew. That shift from maybe when he got married, but there was that shift from his lyrical output, how he also saw life,
yeah,
and a lot of things. He changed. I guess it comes with making a lot of money and being responsible. I think that's just my issue with Drake. Like, I think
yeah. He
so.
doesn't
Like the
make the
past few
best
years for me, like
choices.
Drake,
Yeah,
just
doesn't make.
behaving like a grown ass kid.
Yeah,
You're plaiting your
he's a
hair.
man
You're doing some
child. I'll
funny
give it
funny
to him.
stuff.
He's a man
You
child.
understand? There are pictures of you holding your genitals
Doing
out.
ratchet
Like,
shit.
fam, what's going on? Like like I
This is when he
think
should
a
be
lot of
easing
people like
gracefully into his 40s, but he's refusing not to.
pick up, yeah, pick up like a position in like a label and start, like what Hove did. You expect that
Yeah.
thing from Drizzy as well, but don't let's go into it anymore. Shout out to you guys for listening. Hope you guys have a fantastic week ahead.
Yep.
And stay blessed, and
Peace out.
tune into your family friendly podcast next week. Catch you guys
Local
later. Bye.
stations.